for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome to the program, folks. Already Wednesday. And let's kick off this Wednesday in our normal tradition, going with Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show and 1819 News' editor-in-chief. Hey, Jeff. How you doing this afternoon?
Hey, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
It's weird to think back. It's been a week. Well, last time you and I talked, the world seemed crazy, but not as crazy as it is. Just, I talked to you some on your show this morning, but for my audience here, what's your just general take on this, how you're experiencing all this?
I've been telling everybody, obviously now the shock's kind of worn off and it's just the reality of what we're dealing with. I am surprised how much the public, I guess the word would be cares. I knew it's shocking and horrifying and, something we all didn't want to see. But the takeaway for me is sort of the public buy-in and that we're still talking about it right now. I wouldn't know what to expect in a situation like that. Never really thought about it or contemplated that hypothetical. But I guess my reaction right now would be the public. This was very eye-opening in a way I couldn't have expected.
Yeah, and it cut through all the usual brainwashing and different siloed kind of information, different camps, like especially young folks. I've seen so many on the TikTok, like even folks you wouldn't expect saying, I'm going to church, I'm picking up the Bible, I'm doing this, that, or the other, calling in saying, what can I do? And I just think it's, in a world of noise and a lot of stuff that people don't mean, this just hit people right in the heart.
Yeah, we're told, it defied the conventional wisdom. Yeah. And, that what we were told and what we were told to believe about the political sides, that the violent streak runs through the right-wing extremism. I mean, it's become a household word. And left-wing extremism is not, that's downplayed. Even during the summer of love, Joey, and there's no such thing. And, and I think the visual and just a civilian, doing something that you may object to rhetorically what he says, but, just doing it was gunned down in broad daylight is an eye-opening experience for a lot of Americans. And because to me, I always knew they were capable of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I necessarily anticipated it, but I certainly knew there was enough anger. I always thought the left side of the spectrum was the angriest. There's like a secular humanism to the way they view government and that being your deity and that's your higher power in your life. And conservatives tend not to be that way. And so therefore, like, to me, when you put something like government or public officials or whatever on that mantle, the emotional stakes are higher for the left.
Here. And now the reaction from folks on the left, of course, I'm looking at 1819news.com right now, and it is story after story of often people working in public education, whether the K through 12 experience or the college, university level. And it looks like Auburn University drag queen employee says, I do not give one F that he's gone. And that's just one example of many. The public school teacher here in Montgomery is still y'all's top story there. In a way, this brings rage in me, but it also just, some of these folks, I just shake my head and go, I don't know how to even reach these folks.
You can't reach them. Like I said, they put, it's two things, I should say. It's a me thing. You're putting yourself and what feels good and, ahead of, just everything else or its government. But I think that's what it is. Like, I can't imagine God forbid something happening to someone, a high-profile figure on the left, be it an elected official, politician, or just one of these ideological figures, like even like the villain of the villains, George Soros, and he gets gunned down in broad daylight. My first impulse was, well, he had it coming. He deserved it. I would never go. I mean, I never would A, think that, but B, I certainly would not go out and say it and post it on social media. I have a 3-hour radio show. I have a website. I write columns. I'm in a lot of places. And that's the furthest thing from my mind. It would be, this is bad. We don't need to escalate this, and maybe we need to lay low for a couple of days before we start, kind of trying to hash out what happened.
Yeah, and as I shifted to look into regular business happening, I don't know if you've caught much of these hearings with Kash Patel there in front of the Senate yesterday, and now the House of Representatives, and it's gotten even worse. Now, they're not hardly even talking about Charlie Kirk. There's some questions about that in the investigation, but it's over everything under the sun, and where Kash Patel's cursing at members of the House and senators.
Yeah, and it's very confrontational. Well, we knew, Joey, I mean, any time we were going to see we were going to see a Trump administration official in front of these Democrats and these sort of silly kangaroo court hearings that mean nothing. This was what it was going to be, a lot of grandstanding.
And it's also seeing, and I'll try to do my best later in the show, and more relying on Megyn Kelly put together a pretty good series of clips. But it is unfortunate that we're also already starting to see a fight on the right over Charlie Kirk's legacy. And I'm worrying this is only going to get uglier, in particular led by certain figures. I generally watch a lot of Tucker. I watch a lot of Megyn Kelly. As a libertarian, I know Dave Smith quite well. Not that huge on Candace Owens. I've always, especially in the last year or two, but never really liked her, even when she was, more mainstream. But this seems like he was such a bridge. He was the glue that seemed to be holding all these disparate camps together. And now it's starting to boil over in public.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's going to get, I hate to say this, it's going to be very grotesque. You're going to see people trying to capitalize on the right off of this. I hate to say it, guys, but there's going to be an element of political opportunism here, and our side's they're going to overplay the card here, and then they're going to use it in perverse ways, maybe to raise money. I mean, if TPUSA wants to raise money, fine, that's Charlie's organization. Right. But we're going to see political candidates try to do it. We're going to see, political events masquerading as Charlie Kirk vigils, things like that are, I worry, like there's not going to, we can't help ourselves in this realm.
I think you're sadly correct, but I don't know. I look at like the general tone out there, and as I wrote about this week, as much as I pray for peace, I'm not finding it. And I thought the vice president in particular on Monday put it very well when he said, we're not going to have unity that dance on this guy's grave. We're not going to have unity that with folks that constantly lie about us and attack us and aren't operating in good faith. And I think that's the right message, as opposed to this sort of false unity, because it's non-existent. Folks, go watch these congressional hearings, for instance. It just doesn't exist.
I don't want to be lectured by the other side right now.
Yeah.
They don't need to be telling me that I need to tone it down because this happened, that both sides are to blame here. That is not true. The bullets are flying on one side, and I hear these pseudo-intellectual, like, phonies, like they think that they're above it all, above the fray, telling me that I'm part of the problem here, that I am somehow in any small way culpable for the death of Charlie Kirk because I didn't tone it down, and the other side, because I raised my voice, they raised their voice. And is that what they're insinuating? That is absolutely phony baloney, pseudo-intellectualese, just vapid dishonesty. And I hear it from so many people I know, but they're just trying to appear like they are like in a higher, loftier place from their ivy tower or whatever. Get over yourselves. Admit this for what it is.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate to see pastors of all people saying he lived by the sword. So no, he didn't. Like, and it's stuff like that that does. I've ranted and raved enough.
He wasn't out shooting people at peaceful protests. Right. He wasn't going around going to these indivisible protests and taking out the speaker. That is not what this is. There's no moral equivalency here. And these people who are doing this, it's not necessarily about any scoring political points for them. It's just about them trying to make themselves feel good about what's going on.
Yeah, and I don't know where this goes next. I think that's the thing with when anybody passes, even this sort of awful, tragic, dramatic way, the world keeps spinning. So I'm sitting here looking at Trump and the First Lady in the UK. I mean, the politics will continue. It's hard to predict the shockwaves of this down the road, say a year from now.
Well, shockwaves, they'll be rippling, but I don't think people are going to forget this necessarily. Yeah. This is going to stay on people's minds. And this narrative that you can't allow the right in power because we will end democracy, we will seize elections, we'll take away the right to vote, and we'll reinstate slavery or whatever it is number one, not true, but number two, it's what's causing a lot of this, and these people need to own it. They need to take a responsibility for it. They're not going to. They're going to say, well, all sides need to tone it down. Well, no, we don't. We're not, like I said, Charlie Kirk and the guys on our side are going around to the numerous protests on the left about Donald Trump and committing acts of violence.
Right. And is it right-wing people dancing in the streets of New York City when Luigi Mangione isn't going to be charged as a terrorist? No, it's people very much on the left. And I was worried about that before this assassination of Kirk, and there's just something ugly brewing, and I think Trump really gets it. Trump, he's been saying over and over again, success is what will bring us together. I think he realizes beyond anything he can say, he needs to actually succeed on the economic front in particular.
Yeah, I agree, and I do think there will be some political fallout, but Trump, and this needs to be kept in mind, but you got to move on and not try to dine off of this. Republicans in general, I would say, maybe not even just Trump, but Republicans in general, and like I said, you're already seeing a little bit of it, but Republicans in general need to, have this, have a few lines to talk about this and why this shouldn't be tolerated, but you still got a job to do to get reelected next cycle.
Indeed. Well, I always appreciate your time and your insights, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're up to, how can they do so?
It's x.com/Jeff_Poor.
Thanks, sir. Talk again soon.
Thanks.
Again, that's Jeff Poor, and always appreciate having him on in the studio with me. Troy Carrico is here. How you doing today, Troy?
Top of the morning to you. How are you?
I'm all right. All things considered, bit of a battle going on, but I'm finding resolve, yeah. I think. And I don't mean that in political terms. Mm-hmm. And this is a stupid example, but that scene in Good Will Hunting where Robin Williams talks down to, Will and you can tell me all about the Sistine Chapel, but right. If you ever smelled it and been in there, actually experiencing life right. As opposed to posing. And I think there are moments like that, especially because of how even our poorest live better than kings of old.
Sure.
And so because of all the creature comforts, because of all the advances, despite, I'm not denying anybody's suffering. We all can find it. But I think there are a lot of folks that haven't encountered how evil and final that evil can be here on this earth. And it sort of gives you that resolve that there is we're more than just stuff.
And you and I have talked about this offline a lot about my experiences overseas and my time in the service. And I've said this to you before. The world is, it's a very dangerous and ugly place.
Yeah.
And most people, and I mean, literally half of the world's worried about clean water sources, about the things we take for granted, infrastructure here. Those things virtually don't exist in some countries. And in a lot of even the developed countries, you find a disparity so great that you kind of shake your head. And so Joey, what it does is it causes you, if it's like it happened for me, you start questioning, what is my foundations? What is my ethos? What's my credo here? How do I fit into this? And what is my role in making it better for myself and for others. And you come to the stark realization, sort of like Gojo and Jujutsu Kaisen, he can't save everyone in the Subway Shibuya incident. Yeah. But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking, sometimes a good guy goes, I want to save people, but then I realize I've got to do a nasty job. Yeah. And I think that Jeff was right. I think you're partially right that what we see now is a de-evolution, a detwining of this liberal ideals, and we'll see where it takes us. So
yeah, and we will see where it takes us. But it's just clarifying, and I have noticed that there are folks that maybe aren't prone to wax poetic like both of us can,
like us both, yes.
And I think you're seeing a lot of folks just ask the question, especially young folks, like, what can I do?
Sure.
And I think there's something about that aspect of this that's hard to deny. And in fact, Scott Adams, I'm sure, are you familiar with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know he's.
Scott Adams was on with Tucker Carlson last night. Tucker went live last night. He rarely goes live.
No, I noticed.
And he had on several people, including Megyn Kelly, that we'll get to in a second. Because there is something that's happening about the battle over Kirk's legacy. And there's an aspect of it that it rings really true to me. So we'll get into it. I can't prove anything. And honestly, maybe it's my bias because I watch Tucker all the time. I watch Megyn Kelly all the time. I watch people like Dave Smith. But we can get into that.
Sure.
So this instead is Scott Adams more focusing on the moment. And Adams, I don't think, is some deeply religious guy. He doesn't present himself that way.
He doesn't come across as that's his first moniker that you think of when you think of him. So
and yet the fella has an amazing amount of wisdom in his sort of hypnotist attachment. And this clip in particular rung so true to me about what a lot of folks, myself and many millions, I think, are experiencing. Let's listen into this.
Today, it's the repetition that matters. Hitler, Hitler, Hitler. And you convince people that they're living in a hellscape and they better do something about it. So the main thing I saw was that.
And what we're jumping in midstream, what he's pointing out there, and I think it's a very good point, is when you see some of these folks who are just random people online, he said, what they're saying is despicable, but I almost feel like these folks have been brainwashed over 10 years by some of the most powerful propaganda machines ever created by man. Sure. That's his point, that when you repeat this enough,
when you tell the big lie enough, it becomes the truth.
Once the bubble is formed, it's hard to get out. I mean, you can't talk people out of it. There's no amount of information that will change their mind. Cognitive dissonance will kick in if you show them a counterexample.
Yep.
And the weird thing about Charlie, who I'd never met, by the way, I didn't have the pleasure. The weird thing is that when I started hearing all the accusations, and there were a lot of them, I said to myself, well, I'll bet some of these might be a little bit true. So I started to look for the original quotes, etc. None of them are true. And there were a lot of them. They were all either a made-up quote or a quote and a context and nothing else.
Yeah.
And when you hear people talking about it, especially the young people, they'll say things like, he was a bad hater person, but there's no example. So that's sort of the sign that it's a mass hysteria, because they can't give reasons and they don't seem too interested in the reasons. They're just sure that something has to be done. Now, on top of that, for the young people, there's probably also an economic pressure. They might feel that life doesn't have a positive path. So that might be playing into this a little bit as well. But I do wonder what will happen, and I predict that there's going to be another big bubble of psychological distress when the people who have said such bad things about him in public realize that none of it was true.
Yep.
Because over time, it looks like he's going to be talked about so much that we'll finally have a complete body of information about him so we can understand them. And it won't happen to most people. Most people will just have cognitive dissonance. They'll still believe he was, Hitler Jr. But there will be some people, not a big percentage, who are going to realize that they did something so shameful that it will haunt them for the rest of their lives. that they were part of saying something terrible about one of the best people that we've witnessed. I mean, he genuinely was a high character person, and you could see it in everything he did. So there's something big coming up. Yeah, but then another thing that happened that was fascinating to me, because
and this is he's talking about the nasty response and people dancing on his grave.
Social media.
This is the other side of the coin.
I didn't expect it, which was the Democrats have always had what I'd call a machine, which is that since they worked with the media, they had the media in their pocket, you would see it happen when they'd have some, all right, our message this week are these words, and then everybody would say the same words, and then the media would just pump it out. So it was like this big, well-functioning machine, and then they had the NGOs and all the funding tricks, etc. But when Charlie Kirk died, you could almost feel this massive energy being released. He sort of controlled it, but when it was released, his mortal coil was no more. I feel like that energy just went into people. And suddenly tens of millions of people simultaneously said, what can I do? What can I do right now? Yeah, and that's different. People don't say, I'm going to stop everything. Tell me what to do. I'm going to go to church. A lot of people did. I'm going to say stuff on social media. I'm going to hunt down the people who said bad things and cancel them. But I'm going to do something. We're going to figure out how to start another chapter of TPUSA, and all of that's happening, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. The vigils, etc. If anything, the energy, it might be growing, and I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've never seen the Republicans turn into their own machine, and now it is.
And in that image he created, that he was such a good person, Charlie Kirk was containing this energy, and when he loses this mortal coil, as he put it, it's like that energy Charlie contained was
diffused out
to the millions who saw it.
So happen. Check it out. You and I both know once we've shuffled off this mortal coil, what is the next line? What dreams may come.
Yep.
That's where the turning. What dreams may now come as a result of this. This undiscovered country in death, which I think that we find ourselves, much like Trump, when he nearly got shot, spiritual awakenings occur when you have near-death experiences. In this case, watching a very bloody, it looked like something out of combat I've seen. And the thing is, when you see that, it gives you maybe a check-in. You know what I'm waiting for? The economic reports, Bitcoin, all that right now, that's great. I'd like to see the attendance rolls on church from some of the denominations on what percentage was up. I think that's going to be powerful. The church must take leadership on this, Joey, in order to keep this going.
And that creates whole new problems, but maybe they're worth having those. I'd rather trade for those problems. I think what's going to happen is you are going to see more folks say, I'm going back to church. And let's say everybody going back to church is going to a Christian church. Then it gets into what kind of Christian are you? If I go back and I do like every little sacrament, everything I need to do, ritual, and return to the Catholic Church, it's like, what kind of Catholic are you? Like, within every group, it seems like there's have these divisions.
But I would say this to you as someone who believes in the higher power and deity and God and Jesus. I don't care what the churches say. What I care about is what Jesus said in the red. Go to the New Testament, tell me what he said in red, and just do that. That's all you can do.
But I'm saying that we're not out of the woods yet. If you get people to stop being like, oh, it's just secular, I don't really care, man, and do whatever you want to do, man. And people are now on fire to figure out what is this truth.
There'll be more divisiveness as a result.
And you're now going to have a new question of what does it mean to be properly in line with what Christ said.
But that's a good problem to have.
I agree.
That's a very good problem to have.
Well, and honestly, it's been kind of a problem since the beginning.
Well, yes, you and I have talked about what keeps us turned off by things, but let's not squander.
Well, I'm not saying it turns me off. I'm saying the more I read the history of the church is like there's always these arguments, and they will continue. And I think it's better for us to be talking about that.
Yep.
And it should be that the religious foundations of our society, even if you have trouble believing, even if you're very secular and everything's symbolic and stuff, but the religious base of the society must actually water the secular.
Absolutely.
And I think what's happened is the secular said, no, we're going to inform everything. We don't need to be informed by the more fundamental stuff because you can't prove it. Stuff you just believe. Like, no, but and I think the secular needs to be, it's a unique thing to Christianity. I was watching an interview with the historian Tom Holland. He was saying that one of the major differences between Islam and Christianity is Christianity has the concept of the secular. That's right. Whereas Islam has this totalizing.
It's all God's world. And
everything is whereas God saves, God informs.
Yes.
But you are still building your society.
So you said something very interesting. You think that the Christendom should water and cultivate the secular world. I like that because remember,
where it's infused with
right.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying it is back to what I said on Friday. It is better to have a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. My point is this. Yeah. If you are truly a soldier of Christ and you really are trying to bring other people hope and like Charlie did, try to tell them there's another way, then you have to eat your own dog food if you're making that dog food and go out and you have to go cultivate the secular and bring them into the fold. So we're saying the same thing. And I think that Charlie would be very, 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 very happy with what he's seeing transpire right now.
Amen. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting, and they're at River Region Contracting. Todd Clark, a great team of his, ready to help you with that roof of yours. And it could be they're just looking to give you peace of mind because you should get your roof inspected on a regular basis. Whether it's a asphalt shingle roof or a metal roof, you get unique problems with those. Sometimes problems that you're not going to be able to see, even if you are spry enough to get up on the roof and look yourself, you ain't going to see it.
It's like Eddie said. Eddie said he said that he has a steel roof, and I'm thinking he's got it made, but there was leaking going on in the seal areas.
Yeah, little rubber
grommets and stuff.
Getting dry and cracking.
So that needs to be inspected annually.
And of course, their River Region Contracting, their inspections are always free. So why not do it like on an annual basis?
Okay.
And they say they find a problem, they'll write up an estimate for free, and they can walk you through that insurance process. They're insurance specialists there at River Region Contracting, so they can fight on your behalf, make it a swift and easy experience dealing with your insurance company, which is not a usual thing with dealing with insurance.
It's not fun.
So y'all call up River Region Contracting today at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Big news! Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital has a new name. But don't worry, everything you love is still the same. Now they're Pike Road Animal Hospital, still at 5148 Troy Highway, still the same great team you've trusted for years. Same friendly faces, same expert care, just a new name, and still offering boarding, grooming, and doggy daycare. Pike Road Animal Hospital, formerly Phillips Dunn Animal Hospital. New name, same heart. Compassion you know, care that you trust.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Wet feet, melting popsicles, puppy prints. Summer is hard on floors, but Pergo Vinyl by Mohawk is kid-proof, pet-proof, and life-proof. And right now during the Pergo event at Prattville Carpet, you can get luxury vinyl, worry-free floors, plus up to $1,000 in rebates on qualifying Pergo products. So gorgeous new floors up to $1,000 back. And did I mention 12 months no interest? Get the details and shop Mohawk's Pergo event now at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Get ready for some more warm, dry days and some pleasantly cool nights. Today, with plenty of sunshine, look for a high temperature in the lower 90s. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low temperature in the mid-60s. More sunshine, lower 90s tomorrow, low to mid-90s on Friday and Saturday. And over the weekend, the rain chances are not zero, but very small. I would say 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. Since we began in 1906, at CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark, Troy Carrico in the studio with me. Hola. And let's go to Papa B. Hey, Papa B, how you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hello.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I was not a big listener of Charlie Kirk or Turning Point USA. I gotta admit. I mean, I knew who he was. I had listened to him, heard him before. What was amazing to me is the impact that he had on my son and daughter.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
they were both, you know, pre-2000 type babies. And they're in just another generation altogether, but the impact he had on them was incredible. So I've been listening to some of, you know, Charlie Kirk's stuff here. And there are a few things that strike me. First of all, he had a contagious joy.
Yes,
he did.
He had a contagious joy, and you could tell it on, but not just him, but the people that he surrounded himself that came to him. He drew people with that contagious joy. The other thing is, he did not suffer or coddle error. Now, he didn't do it in a mean way. He didn't do it in a, you know, a way that would turn people off, you know, or disparage somebody, but he would not sit there and try to, you know, what I've seen happen so many times is trying to compromise or, you know, try to, you know, win people over through, you know, kind of seeing it their way type thing. No, he wouldn't do that. He would just say, look, he was in such command of the facts. He was in such command of history, of, you know, the history of this country, Bible knowledge, that, you know, he just left people spinning. Now, you know, they can sit there and argue with him and everything, but the debate style was incredible.
Oh, yes.
And by the time he got through with them, all they were left to do was sit there and scream at the darkness, you know, because there was no winning against Charlie when he took a position. So, I mean, I found that, you know, kind of real interesting. You know, it was said about Harry Truman, give him Hail Harry, that moniker that followed him. You know, and Harry Truman would say, I don't give them hell, I just give them the truth. They just think it's hell.
That's true.
And that's what Charlie Kirk was dishing out right there. It has come in to tell you, there are people that, boy, when you can't handle the truth. I mean, that's what they couldn't handle the truth, dude. And they're really still having trouble with it. So right now, what's going to happen next with these cats? I don't know, but it doesn't look like, you know, their dysfunction is waning. I think
it's not. It's only becoming more heightened. You know, the first thing you said about his infectious joy for life, and I've heard others say he always thought you could be better than yourself. He kind of inspired you to It's like a good coach, like
Right.
saying you can do
Rise
better.
above. You could rise above. Yeah.
And also, I've been trying to go, why is this affecting me so much? I think some of it is the sheer graphic violence of it. But then, seriously, in the last year, I remember seeing more and more of this guy explicitly talking about more Christian principles. From the deep theological discussions to the like practical, what are like the role of men and women in society, these sorts of things. And what I noticed, it wasn't the specific things he said, though, that had value. The arguments were great often, but it was how he treated people, especially folks that he could have been like, you whore, put your clothes on, stop putting porn on the internet. That wasn't how he carried himself. He said, no, I want you to be able to start a family and be beautiful and be cherished and share in something that's bigger than the flesh. Like the way he carried himself, I think, spoke volumes. And the more I'm seeing this ongoing fight now on the right online over his legacy, it's clear as day to me now that he was the glue. He was the bridge. I think it's because of how he treated people.
It was.
And
like Christ, very Christ-like.
We lost somebody who can't be replaced.
Let me say this, guys. Both of you hit something, and I like that's exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't put it into context. What you said, a contagious, joyous enthusiasm. What do they say about people with grace? They have a peace that passeth understanding. And that's where that's when you said that, Papa B and Joey, when you just articulate, he has a peace that passeth understanding for most. So beautiful, beautiful grace. That's grace, real grace.
That is real grace. And so, we're seeing now a little bit of drawing back in some areas, because I'm telling you, there are people that are really bad that are calling, folks up and threatening them, threatening their families, threatening, their children, and what they call swatting them and stuff like that.
It's been going on for years.
And all that. Yeah.
The great thing about Charlie was, he was steadfast, even in light of that, because you know who was getting it. And in fact, we're learning now that the Biden DOJ was just sick on him, like a pack of dogs.
That's a big deal.
And that who wouldn't have seen that coming? Of course, we knew something like that was probably going on.
Well, if they're going after parents on PTA boards, right? People in the library, they're coming after him. It's ridiculous.
Well, and he just was brave, though, and that's what we've all got to be here. And we cannot just sit here and allow, really bad people to just do what they want to do, say what they want to do, and without us standing up and, speaking out against it, at least, Oh,
yeah.
So anyway.
And I really did take to heart, because I'd been feeling it lately. It's one thing when it's a former senator like Doug Jones, when it's a pastor leading a whole congregation, when it's folks who really should know better.
Yeah.
But when I see the average crazy person or deranged person, and aren't we all a little deranged because of social media on TikTok or whatnot, I see brainwashing. And I wonder, how do you break somebody out of that? And I think it isn't necessarily something you say. And I've had folks like this call in and stuff. At a certain point, it's like, we're not even communicating.
That's right.
As much as I'm trying.
Final thought, real quick. I say is there's one other thing that, what all of this is kind of revealed, is that is just how far we have fallen spiritually.
Well, you ain't kidding, brother.
As not just a nation, a world, the whole world. I had no idea, honestly. I thought I did, but this world has fallen desperately. It's dark.
It's because we know why. We know why. It's occupied by principality. Those third fell here.
Can I bring up I mentioned it yesterday. Can I bring up a weird scenario though?
Yeah, go for it.
Like as I'm reading through this book, it's on the Reformation, early 1500s.
Right.
It's following Martin Luther and Erasmus, who was correcting translations from the Greek and
Greek
whatnot.
Bible,
And in particular, when you look at Martin Luther, the stuff that was said about Martin Luther by doctors of the church, men of God, pious monks, and what Luther would say about them, like would make people on social media blush. And keep in mind too, it's like blasphemy. Get out the tight bundle of sticks, you know the real word for it, I'm not allowed to say it these days, and set them on fire.
Throw 'em on the rack.
So, yes, I think we're not the America we once were, but also I think we got it better than, say, the Middle Ages. I don't know. But it's a weird time in that
maybe
regard.
It's even worse in the Middle Ages because it was kind of brutal and barbaric then. We've risen to the peaks of our civility.
But all
in
that
society.
barbarity's still
And
there.
look, it's still there, and it's even worse.
Yeah.
This very well could lead to what I believe might be the third Great Awakening. I think we're on the cusp of it, guys. I truly do, and I think
do
it's
too.
not just going to be a national thing. I think this is probably going to be a shaking worldwide, and I can't wait.
And if you're right, and Joey and I were talking about this going into the coming out of or sitting in the break, if what you say is true, and Joey and I both are of the opinion that this could be something big, it only works if the church takes leadership and ownership. And again, not divisiveness, but we have to have Christendom in totality. And I'm telling you, the Islamic deal has to be dealt with as a result of this too.
Yeah.
And Charlie would agree with that.
All good points.
Cool.
God bless you. Love you.
God
Bye,
bless
guys.
you, man. Thank you, buddy.
Love you, brother. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. Now, you really want to show somebody you love them. Go get some Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. Surprise them.
If Joey would surprise, I mean, if Eddie would surprise us with that.
Oh,
that
he
would be-
did one day.
I know
he got me
He
a
keeps
pulled
saying
pork
it.
sandwich.
What an incredible!
I need to get by there and surprise y'all
It's
one
cool.
day.
It's cool. That would be great.
But I do love that breakfast over there. The cheese grits are to die for. This brilliant man over here put brisket on top of them.
Just like chocolate and peanut butter, man.
So good. And then, of course, say you do want to get a lunch. They can, to go or dine in. They have a daily meat and 3 for a very reasonable price. Very reasonable indeed for like big helpings, the sides.
That's what I was.
Maybe get some
impressed
fried
with.
chicken
The
or
amount-
catfish or something like that.
The amount that they gave you was like, I was like, I could eat later.
And then, of course, they got great like desserts. And
I didn't get there.
And one thing I love about Smokehouse Pit Barbecue too is they've been around for a long time through multiple different types of owners. The current owners, Chris and Celeste, they were wanting to get back because Chris has been a pit master there for a long time before he owned the place. They wanted to get back to the original recipe. So they had to go ask permission of the original owners. They got that permission. And this is why it's tasting so good.
It is so good.
It's those original recipes that made them famous in the first place. So y'all get by there. Same location as always, Main Street in Millbrook. And tell the fine folks there at Smokehouse Pit Barbecue that Joey and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Fox Monday. I think you mean Jane's Day. Yes, plural. She's hosting a show where you guess to tune that'll make you think. And she's hosting a show where a celebrity is the weakest link.
You suck at this game. All new Celebrity Name That Tune with Jane Krakowski and all new Celebrity Weakest Link with Jane Lynch.
Monday on Fox 20.
Hi, this is Jeff Mallinson with Georgia Floors Direct, and I want to talk to you about Blue Water Broadcast and how they've helped my business spread the word. As every small business owner, I have to look at my advertising dollars carefully, and Blue Water Broadcast helps me get the most for every dollar I spend. I'm so glad to be a part of Blue Water Broadcasting and what they bring to Montgomery.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the river region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Do you have real estate problems? Whether you're facing foreclosure, inherited a property, or have costly repairs, we understand. At Rapid Fire Homebuyers, we're here to help. Any condition, any situation, we'll give you an honest cash offer for your home so you can move forward. Because when real estate problems cause you uncertainty, you deserve a solution you can trust. Any condition, any situation, we're here to help. Give Rapid Fire Homebuyers a call today at 334-675-1000. That's 334-675-1000.
The premier place the river region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
back into the program. Let's go right to the phones. Talk to a great news sponsor of ours. We've got Josh Bottoms with Sons Kia there on the Boulevard. Hey, Josh, how you doing this afternoon, sir?
I am doing great, man. Doing great. Lovely weather, beautiful weather. It's a great day to buy a car today.
So what you got going on there?
You know, we still going through this construction sale. We're going to be going through it for a little while. We got service open. We got sales open. We got a lot of great things going on, getting geared up for the weekend. We just introduced military appreciation for yesterday, giving half off on oil changes. And we'll actually do any make or any model. So that's something new, you know. Just trying to tell our the military, both active duty and retired, thank you for that. I've got we've got Sorrentos up to $4,500 off MSRP. I've got a Seltos that's up to almost $5,000 off MSRP. I've got the Kia Soul. You can actually lease one for $259 a month, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, that's a great rate right there. And
yeah.
So, folks, get by there, see the construction sale, see all these great deals, and a brand new showroom is coming soon. Yeah. But folks can they can also shop online.
They can shop online at www.sonskiamontgomery, or you can always come see us on this side of the boulevard.
Well, I appreciate it as always, Josh. We'll talk again soon.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Again, that's Josh Bottoms with Sons Kia. Y'all get by there. And actually, Josh was the general manager there when before change over to Sons.
I was going to ask.
That's where I bought my
That's
Kia.
where I was going to ask if you
I remember talking to him when we were haggling.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Good guy and good folks over there. Y'all get by there and really are some incredible sales. I did not know about the military appreciation with the half off on the
oil change. A lot of companies do that, but it's nice that he went straight to that. So yeah, go check it out if you're military. For sure.
Again, that's Sons Kia. Y'all check them out. 272-9228 again if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. As I mentioned earlier, there is a lot going. I got a lot of clips for today. So many, but can we do one that's really stupid?
Yeah, what do you got here?
It's going to take a couple of clips to show how stupid this is.
Sure.
Like there are some folks in the United States Senate that they're just not. They're not.
We're back to this again, aren't we?
About
what
like
is a man and a woman?
Well, but I don't even know like if you could be like evil being this dumb.
Can you be sort of pregnant? Is that possible to be sort of pregnant? I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Well, this is the senator from Hawaii.
Oh boy.
Maisie Hirono.
She looks like a brainiac.
And let's listen into what Maisie has to say. I believe this is talking to Kash Patel about pull-ups.
Yeah.
Like this today.
Yeah.
I had back day. Yeah. I did 2 sets of 7 pull-ups.
Right.
And 2 sets of 7 of bent over rows.
Very nice.
Like nothing crazy. Like I'm not trying to destroy my back. And then, I hit it twice a week. So you get your sets in. But you're like 7 pull-ups, 14 pull-ups and all in the morning.
There has to be standards.
It's easy. And I'm a jackass on the radio. I sit in a chair all day. If I can do 7
candy ass. You remember a candy ass? Well, I don't know what that is.
Compared to
I don't know
guys,
what that is. But
when you had all your buddies on here.
I don't think you are.
Let's listen into Maisie Hirono.
That you are now requiring applicants to be able to do a certain kind of pull-ups, which a lot of women cannot because of physiological differences. Are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring a physical program at BFTC at Quantico because FBI agents carrying guns in the field have to chase down bad guys and do really hard work. The physical fitness standards of those agents.
So are you requiring these kinds of pull-ups?
We are requiring everybody to pass the 1811 standards at BFTC. If you want to chase down a bad guy and put him in handcuffs, you better be able to do a pull-up.
And I wonder what the standard is. Probably not the crazy.
No. It's for women. It's like 2 or 3, and it's a modified pull-up. It's not a full extension. It's a pull. But what? I'm sorry, but as I'm watching this, I'm getting flashbacks to that great Atlanta representative. About what I'm concerned about is that the island might capsize.
Yeah, Guam might tip over.
She's in that kind of mode right now.
Yeah, it's just so dumb, and it's also like. I mean, I'm sure you saw some of these ladies when you served. There's some women can do some pull-ups.
So, and I don't know. I don't think I've shared this. But I think I have. But by when he said 1811 standards.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. when you're a GS like I was, or a GG like I was, depending on who I was working for at the time, which is a government grade, I went to 1810, 1811 modifier school, which I was in a Army badge, and I had a badge, credential, gun. I was a counterintelligence officer agent, where we would investigate spying and stuff like that. I had to go to Brunswick, Georgia, which is where the FLETC is, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, in conjunction with Quantico FBI. And every federal agent that is a law enforcement federal agent has to go through that course.
Yeah.
And it's compared to the Army, the PT, it was easy, but they have to have standards. So,
Yeah, but you need to be a little bit in shape. You don't have to win the CrossFit Games. You got to be a little bit in shape.
Sometimes you see officers and you think, my God, if he's got to run, he ain't going to make it, man.
Well, but that was the Judiciary Committee, which again, how is that woman from Hawaii on the Judiciary Committee?
Because they didn't have anything else for her.
Well, let's go to another senator who's a woman. Alabama's own Katie Britt is also on the
Katie.
Judiciary
Hey, Katie.
Committee, and she responds right after, I think, Corona questioned Kash Patel about, but women, they're physiologically different. They can't do both.
Before I begin, I want to thank Senator Hirono for what she said, acknowledging that there are physical differences between men and women. Talking about that women wouldn't be able to do as many pull-ups, and I think that she was making a case here that there should be different standards. There's a thing called Title IX, and this is why we continue to say we should have biological men and men's sports and biological women and women's sports. And so I look forward to utilizing that to talk to all of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. Maybe they will stand with us in helping us protect women's sports. I think she made a great argument there for.
Hey, you know what I love about her? She's a silent assassin. She smiles when she's putting the dagger in you.
Oh, yes, she does.
She is a knife wielder.
Yeah,
well
done on that one, Senator Britt. Oh, man, we got to hit this top of the hour break here in just a second. But plenty more, because there's been a lot of activity in the Congress. That one was more one of the funny, silly moments.
That was great.
Because Mazie Hirono, my God. Now, there are others where Kash Patel, just starts. There's just a screaming.
He starts stressing them down, man.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to.
Especially the Adam Schiff clip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was good. We'll have to play that.
Oh, yeah. I've got that one. We got plenty of others that we can get to. But
that's great.
That was nuts in that regard. Also, Rand Paul blowing away somebody in the Health Committee.
Crybaby.
Senator John Kennedy had an amazing line of questioning of Kash Patel on the Epstein files, and what Patel says, it finally clicked to me. And the punchline is the U.S. attorney, Alex Acosta, who gave the limited sweetheart deal to Epstein
down in Florida.
His ass needs to be hauled in front of the Congress, put under oath. Why did you cut this deal? Because that is what is. We'll get to the questioning. It makes it much clearer what that punchline.
Understood.
But my God, and much more. We haven't even scratched the surface. So we'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The widespread expectation is that the Federal Reserve will deliver the first cut to interest rates of the year to help the job market. Britain's King Charles has greeted President Trump in Windsor, kicking off the president's second state visit to the United Kingdom. After a day of royal pomp, Mr. Trump will hold talks on Thursday with Prime Minister Keir Starmer. A suspect taken into custody after a driver rammed a car into a security gate at the FBI building in Pittsburgh. The FBI describes it as a targeted attack, but confirms no personnel were injured. It's been an extremely quiet hurricane season, but now Tropical Storm Gabrielle has formed in the Atlantic Ocean, according to the National Hurricane Center. The Dow up 232 points, the NASDAQ Composite 115 in the red. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-226-5454. That's 800-226-5454. 800-226-5454.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Schimbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Schimbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Get ready for some more warm, dry days and some pleasantly cool nights. Today, with plenty of sunshine, look for a high temperature in the lower 90s. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low temperature in the mid-60s. More sunshine, lower 90s tomorrow, low to mid-90s on Friday and Saturday. And over the weekend, the rain chances are not zero, but very small. I would say 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. The Montgomery City Council has officially passed the largest budget in the city's history. The budget passed with a 6-3 vote Tuesday evening. The 2026 budget totals $353 million, a 6.5 increase from last year. A proposed amendment to divert $2.5 million away from the police department to fire and rescue services failed by one vote. The Trump administration is redirecting nearly $500 million in federal funding to historically black colleges and universities. Education Secretary Linda McMahon said the changes will redirect money away from ineffective and discriminatory programs toward those which support student success. The Montgomery Humane Society needs the community's help in order to make necessary repairs. The shelter must remodel to continue keeping animals safe and healthy. To help clear out the shelter, every cat and kitten can now be adopted for just $25. They'll go home spayed or neutered, vaccinated, and microchipped, all for just $25. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Well, having a great day, Joey. How are you today?
I'm all right. Better than I was last week, but we're seeing exactly what you and the team there at Invista have been predicting. It just broke the The Fed has cut rates. Tell us about it and how this might shape out.
Yeah, I think our team was pretty confident in a quarter-point cut. I was out at the soccer field last night with my little daughter's team, and a lot of people now hear me on the radio and want to come up and talk economics, and a couple of these guys are making the case for a 50 basis point cut, and I believe it when I see it, but I think with the relationship between Trump and Powell right now, he's going to slow play this, even if it may not be the move. But so the quarter point cut was expected. We got it. I still think there's a chance we get another quarter point cut in December. We'll see how the relationship between the White House and the Fed plays out over the next several weeks leading into December to see if we can get an additional cut. But I think we are due. Unemployment is ticking up. Inflation, CPI is still at 2.9. We're trying to get it to 2. It's still above target, but with unemployment ticking up, I think you can make the case another quarter point cut in December makes sense. But all in all, this is going to be a breath of fresh air for people that have bought houses over the last 2 years that are looking at rates at 7.5%, 8%, depending on credit. I mean, if you fixed your credit and got into a good spot, you could potentially, once this rate cut settles into the 10-year and mortgage rates follow suit, you could potentially start seeing 6.25%. Maybe in quarter one next year, you might see a 6% interest rate on home buying or refinancing. So I know that's a breath of fresh air for a lot of people that have been locked in at higher rates. But this is a good start, and I think that the market's immediate response was favorable. We're up 25 basis points on the S&P almost immediately, and the Dow is even more. So all in all, this is a much-needed breath of fresh air for the market, and happy to see it. Awesome.
And, well, hopefully this is a good sign of things to come. And let's tell folks about Invista Advisors a little bit. It seems like everybody's listening to the radio show, though. But for those who have missed it, it bears repeating. Tell us about Invista Advisor.
Yeah. We are a registered investment advisor, and, we have an independent investment committee. But really, even though we talk about investments a lot and we have, economists and accountants on our team, we really focus on planning. So, if you are looking to retire and you don't have a plan, if you need to make a big purchase and you don't have a plan, put a kid through college, maybe figure out a long-term care insurance strategy, and or buying or selling a business. If you need a plan for something that is a huge financial decision in your life, come see us and we can look at it from every angle with you. And if we can't help you, we'll point you in the right direction at least.
Folks, y'all get in touch with them direct. 387-0094 is that number. And when you call them up at 387-0094, be sure to say, hey, I heard Austin Baranko on the radio with Joey Clark. Want to see what y'all can do for me.
Awesome, Joe. Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you Friday.
Appreciate it, Austin. Again, folks, it's Austin Baranko with Invista Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Again, Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. So that's a good sign. Growth of economic activity moderate in first half of 2025.
Yep.
Apparently it was a lot worse under Biden than was reported by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I always think about that when we talk about economic forecasting, and when Austin's on, he always does a good job. There's what we hear, and then there's the reality of what's going on in the markets. And I think he's got a pretty good grasp of, this is saying that, but that we expect this to happen. And when you've got false, let's just be honest, they were padding the numbers big time. They were padding the numbers. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, one issue that the Democrats on a lot of the panel in like the House in particular on the Epstein stuff are grandstanding, and it's just kind of obnoxious. But Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana asked about the Epstein stuff of Kash Patel in a way that actually brought some interesting angles to this. All right. Let's listen in to Senator Kennedy and Kash Patel.
Epstein files. Have you seen the Epstein files?
I have not reviewed the entirety of it myself, but a good amount.
would it be fair to say that Mr. Epstein trafficked young women, including in some instances minors, for sex to himself?
That was specifically the allegations in the 2018 indictment in the Southern District of New York.
Who else did he traffic these young women to?
In terms of what the investigation, again, going back to 2008, Mr. Acosta
Listen carefully.
limited the investigation and limited the search warrants and limited the parameters of the investigation.
Mr. Acosta limited all this.
Right.
The only thing we are able to speak to publicly, because he was given a non-prosecution agreement by Mr. Acosta, is that first time period from, I believe, don't quote me on this, 97 to 2001-ish. And then when the Trump administration courageously reopened it.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I'm going to run out of time. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay. Now, President Trump has deferred to the FBI and the Department of Justice with respect to the Epstein records. He says it is your call about releasing them. And I understand that the department and the agency have decided to release them in cooperation with the House committee. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're releasing them a little bit at a time. Is that correct?
We're releasing as much as we can, but we are limited by 3 different court orders. And the department went back to each of those judges to waive those court orders or have them lifted, and each of those judges declined.
Will you release all of them, or at least as many as you can?
We will release everything we are legally permitted to do so. We are continuing to work with the House on the subpoena request. We have substantially complied with it, but we will continue to release whatever we are legally permitted to do so.
Okay. I strongly encourage you to do that. Cash, this issue's not going to go away. And I think the central question for the American people is this. They know that Epstein trafficked young women for sex to himself. They want to know who, if anyone else, he trafficked these young women to.
That's what they want.
And that's a very fair question. I want to know that answer. And I think you're going to have to do more to satisfy the American people's understandable curiosity in that regard.
Mr. Chairman, may I just respond to that? I agree, Senator. And what we have done, and just to remind folks, the Epstein case files existed in the 2 prior administrations, in the Obama administration and the Biden administration. And they didn't release anything. And there was President Trump in the first administration that renewed charges against Mr. Epstein. And I know it's a little complicated to understand, but what exists in the Epstein case files was a direct result of the limited search warrants from 2006 and 7,
Man.
which hamstrung future investigations because of the non-prosecution agreement.
Wow.
And multiple administrations had the opportunity to look at the entirety of that case file and recommend prosecutions against anyone that was trafficked under Mr. Epstein and anyone that participated in that trafficking. And the only person to bring charges was the prior administration against Mr. Epstein. Now, I am not saying that others were not trafficked and others were not involved. What I am telling you is that based on the information we have, and we have continuously and publicly asked for the public to come forward with more information. If there is, we'll look at it. But based on credible information, we have released all credible information, and the information that the Department of Justice and the FBI never releases is information on investigations that are not credible. And we don't release the names of victims who weren't credible, but in the same time, we don't release the names of victims who were credible. And so the that's by law. And so the information we are releasing now is historic, and it is also to the maximum capacity that the law allows. And I know that's not going to satisfy many, many, many people, But if they wanted it done right, then the investigation from its origination should have been done right. And he should not have been given a get out of jail free card to do jail on the weekends for 12 hours a day. And he should have been investigated fully for the entirety of his crime and criminal enterprise, not just from 1997 to 2001.
Man.
So you following that?
Sure. And now you want to know why people want to release the files? Because there's too much there that we don't know and been restricted.
But it sounds like what Cash is saying is the files themselves are abridged.
Yeah.
The files themselves are this very narrow
pathway.
Yeah. A great way to lead to failure is to tell somebody to succeed down the wrong road. And so for Acosta to put all these guardrails on there,
sure.
Like you can't subpoena these. You got to limit the amount of search warrants. You got we're going to give you that get out of jail free card. We're going to give you the non-prosecution agreement. And so it shuts everything down of an actual full investigation. There has been reported years ago that Alex Acosta, at the time, that U.S. attorney, said somebody told him, Epstein, like, why did you do all this? Somebody told me he was intelligent. And so that has led people to be like, what does that mean? And he's later talked around that, not said it explicitly. At this point, if the Congress is really serious, number one, the Congress could vote.
Absolutely.
And get, like these judges have knocked down these requests to unseal a lot of grand jury evidence. The Congress should vote to release that stuff. But the Congress should haul Alex Acosta in front of the Congress and be like, why did you do this? And answer under oath. I don't want to be in a skiff. I don't want to be in a classified set. I'm tired of that, where the public keeps running up against, no, we can't. We can't.
Plausible deniability, man. Come on, it's plausible deniability.
Daggum. And, I appreciate John Kennedy actually following that line of questioning.
I really do, too.
Without it being, without it being, like, hysterical. Like, just why are we having such trouble with this? Anyway, 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. If you want to get in on the conversation. But let's go to something that was just straight up theatrical. This was Kash Patel also yesterday in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And he is going back and forth with Adam Schiff. Man, America, like, we're doing so good. When you hear this, we're like, man, we're so proud.
He calls him what he calls him the biggest fraud in Senate history or something like that. That's saying a lot.
To believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No, I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
not in the weeds?
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th.
And so the Epstein
because of people like you.
You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution.
Right in their chamber there.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised that you continue to lie from your perch and put on a show so you can go raise money for your charade. You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take it to the bank that the FBI is protecting this country and the state and citizens of California. We are bringing historic reform.
Point of order.
But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
you said I'm the most transparent FBI director in history. 33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras.
Come on, Chuck, hit your gavel harder.
Were you good at? Dressed him down.
Hold on, I missed the best part. Listen to the old man go, both of you are
out of order.
Where you want to go now?
Both of you be quiet.
Ooh, Sergeant of Arms is coming.
I'm Chuck Grassley. I'm 100 years old. Good God,
Don't make me throw this at you.
Oh, man, why would a guy in his 80s want to be doing that job?
Well,
Seriously.
Apparently he's a gatekeeper. He's the gatekeeper.
Oh, I know, but like I didn't get it when Al Shelby stayed that long. Maybe. Like, why do you want to keep doing that when you
maybe he thinks he'll die?
Like, you've made plenty of money. Like, I guess you get addicted to it or something like that. But,
well, that's all he knows.
But that, that's just a taste. That was yesterday.
It was great.
And we played yesterday the Cory Booker thing.
Yes, I heard that.
But it didn't get better on the House side. Didn't get better at all.
What happened on that side?
Eric Swalwell. You know that guy?
Yeah, I do. Yes. Yeah.
You know, you bang one Chinese spy when you're an up and coming
Yeah,
Politico.
I worked in, CI. I hear all these kind of excuses. I made a mistake.
You know, I've been raising. Do I need to raise my profile enough to work? Because I don't actually like change policy. I don't think. I like to think I allow people to ruminate about the different ideas out there, and I present a lot of different perspectives. But I'm not the guy who's like, I'm not a Charlie Kirk type. I'm not like one of these talk hosts like, we're gonna go and we're gonna.
You're not. Listen,
that's not me.
The difference, I think, between you and I is I'm a bit of an emotional firebrand. You are very logical, but you're also. I've watched your emotions. I've watched you for the last 2 weeks now, kind of struggle with some because you're ready to launch Hellfire missiles.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you do a good job.
Oh, just to give you a sense of on the emotional front. And I get back to my point. Is I'd play Civilization.
I love Civilization.
If somebody tried to hurt me in like the Stone Age, at the modern age,
you're going to nuke them.
I'm nuking.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yes,
because you can.
Because I can't. So this is why I should never be in charge. By the way.
So are you saying you're a bit vindictive?
Yeah, sometimes
you hold a grudge. I mean, if somebody wrongs you, you put it right up there and you remember that guy did me wrong.
Yeah, no, I try not to in that regard. I mean, more like if I'm in charge of a nation. And I'm trying to win, you know what I mean?
This is gaming ethos here. So let's talk about this. What about if you had an ally, let's say India or one of the other civilizations, just maybe the Greeks, and you're the Babylonians, whatever. Would you turn on them in a battle if you felt like you could take their land?
No, I don't do that.
Okay, good.
I mean, it depends on the type of victory you're going for. If you're going for conquest,
I got that. But really, that's what it's all about.
And anyway, the point of me bringing up, like, I'm not the guy who's like moving the needle. So because I've been wondering, because I've been doing this enough, where are the ops against me? Where are the FBI ops? Where are the agency ops? Where's the honeypot traps?
So let me say this.
Would you not send a honeypot my way? I'm over here dry as crap, folks.
I want to share something with you. Brian Dawson and I talked about the upcoming event in Birmingham. And let me tell you something. And I'm telling you this, and I want your listeners to listen to me because I know this for a fact. Soft targets are the preferred TTPs, which is the techniques, tactics, and procedures of all of our new upcoming ideologues and would-be assassins. Why would you go after a Trump detail or a Vance detail or a Katie Britt security detail when you can harvest influencers, media types, and politicos much easier with very, very big effect and for lower cost risk to associate to achieve the mission? So it's a very real thing. And I think you're seeing a lot of these influencers and people such as yourself that have to say, I need to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like, where are all where are the Chinese spies trying to sleep with me?
You want a honeypot?
Not with you saying it that way.
Well,
no.
I'm saying I can arrange for you to go to Dubai and you go into that hotel at Trader Vic's bar and they'll be all in there, buddy. Russian, they're there. Hey, where are you from?
No, but it's like you can't honeypot a honeypot.
You can't honeypot someone that's very skeptical about human nature.
I have slept with all your honeypots and I have given them nothing but a good time.
Really?
I have given away no information.
They should pay me for this.
People know what I do. I don't do any of this.
You know what, Joey? I would love to see you in that situation where I was at when I walked into that bar. And I went to smoke my cigar because I'm in the Middle East and they go, you got to go to the bar. And there must have been 30 women in there. There's not a single man but the bartender. Yeah. And I'm like, holy. And they were dressed like, hussies. Yeah.
Anyway, we bring all this up because I saw Eric Swalwell.
Yes, I know.
And, let's listen in. This is him and Kash Patel earlier today. Let's see how it goes.
I will work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call bullshit on your entire career.
Wow.
It's been a disgrace to the American people. You can reclaim your time all you want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way? Mr. Chairman, would you recuse yourself?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, would you admonish your witness not to insult members?
By the way, I let it play because it's Kash Patel, the director of FBI, saying BS.
BS.
I love that. Like, you're going to let him talk that way?
He's on the offensive everywhere where he's going on this, and I like that.
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, just
committee will remember.
Quick point of order. Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts since the witness decided to interrupt him continuously?
And the witness will be able to respond if he wants. We'll make sure he has time to do that.
My question is, will you, Director, recuse yourself, yes or no, from investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, that you identified as government gangsters? Yes or no?
Time of the gentleman has expired. The witness may respond if he would like.
And the answer was no, as I heard.
Correct.
Nothing more to say.
The gentleman from Wisconsin. The gentleman yields back to the gentleman from Wisconsin.
He needs to be looking over his shoulder
because
we're coming after you.
It's an accurate appellation. It's
Sure
an
it
accurate
is.
label for you, Swalwell.
That's exactly right.
But it's heated out there.
It is.
It is heated out there.
But listen, there's a lot at stake. The soul of our nation is at stake. See, that was a firebrand. The soul of our nation is at stake, but I'm not calling for war.
Especially after watching all these Charlie Kirk clips, it's like the members of Congress could learn a thing or two from that young guy.
Listen, you know what's sad? They're all I look at Katie Britt stands out. She's different. There's a few out there. You look at them and you think there's not much of a difference between any of them. They're part of the system now. They've become consumed in what they do. And I mean, there's still good ones out there, but Joey, the spirit is not there with them for the most part. They live in this world and of this world.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services and their Pest Pro Services. Ashley and that great team ready to help you out. You got bug
I do.
problem?
Let me tell you what happened. Ashley, we have mole crickets under our porch.
Crickets.
Yeah, listen, they're weird. So what they are is they eat up lawns. Okay, so they're bad pests and they will bite. But I was under fixing some boards on our beautiful porch, and I got under there and I disturbed them. And they all came out. I had to spray, and I'm thinking, where's Pest Pro Services when I need them? But it was in the middle of the night, so it probably. Give them a call. I need to.
Yeah, you do. It's 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And I'm sure they're aware of these things. I don't even know what these look like.
They look like grasshoppers, but they're kind of, and when you step on them, they squeal. They make a noise, and they're like a cricket, but they bite too.
They bite, but they're like crickets, and they squeal when you step on
them. And they're real slick. They're hard to step. They're weird. They're strange. They're a subterranean kind of creature.
Folks, if you have those subterranean kinds of creatures around your home and your property, you need to get in touch with Pest Pro Services today. They have this new monthly subscription model, which is,
that's great.
I guarantee you're spending more on streaming services. You should get this full package there from Pest Pro. You can learn more at ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, or just call them direct. Again, that number 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Troy, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Cameron.
Hey, Cameron.
Hey, Cam.
Y'all been all right?
Yep.
Yeah, how are you?
What's on your mind today?
Well, number one, I wanted to say y'all are going to get me in trouble because I'm standing out here hooting amen out loud the points you're making.
Don't worry about that. Don't let that concern you.
Well, I want y'all's thoughts on this. There is a corruption in our nation that I believe is about to be discovered in the coming near future. And I think it's going to shake some people to their boots.
I think you're right.
I feel like we're going to be able to get through it and grow from it. But just a couple thoughts from you guys on how deep it runs.
It runs, I think, in a very, very deep vein. One that people have forgotten exists even. Like your forefathers dug that deep, and you kind of take for granted what they did. And
I can speak from my personal experience working for the government as a GS-15 at the Mint and at the Corps of Engineers and meeting with bureau and agency heads. It's a mafia almost. I've told you this before. If you want to change the government and the corruption, you have to go into that upper level, senior level leadership. And the problem is it's all a self-looking ice cream cone, Cameron. They are living in the world and of the world, and it's about building their kingdom and their empire. It's not about serving their constituents. It's not about serving the mission set. It's about how do I get more in my pocket. And that can be taken literally, but it also talking about enhancement of career and all this. So my thoughts are this: as a former government exec, Nothing's going to change, Cam, until we really go out there and get rid of these 15s and stuff.
And I've been talking about this for years. I mean, do you remember the first thing I wrote for 1819 News? Like what, in 22?
Yeah, right, 2022. I remember that.
Yeah, so like I've been warning about like the more political we become, I think the more deranged we become, the more disconnected from things that matter.
Sure.
Also, the more we rely on the social media and live just online. I think you also get people disconnected from the larger things. And I've been worrying for years that it's going to require a great calamity before a number of people wake up.
What do you think? What do you think, Cam?
Oh, I'm an American citizen because my mom and dad are from here, but I was born in Asia, and I've seen what corruption can do. Then I went back as an adult and worked in Asia for a while.
Wow.
Corruption just hampers growth. It takes away potential. It ruins things. That's why I'm an avid listener to this, to programs at this station. But what the darkness is now, light is being shone on the darkness, and I truly hope my fellow Americans and those that are listening to this station will just look around for what they can do to help make this nation a better place using the instruments that our forefathers granted us. Thank you for letting me talk.
Appreciate you, Cameron. 272-9228. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
What's up, my friend?
Hey, Duke.
How you?
I'm better than I was, but honestly, man, what happened last week, it affected me in a way I'm having trouble fully understanding.
Yeah, put that in the hands of God, son. You can't fix that.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. I'll listen to your thing with how you doing, my friend? What's Charlie?
Duke, I was just saying, you're going to leave me hanging? I know I'm not Eddie, but I'm better looking than Eddie. I'm better looking than Eddie.
In the corner on me. Come on,
I'm nice. I know. I'm going to stab you in the back. You remember, we've already been down this road. I love black people. That's what Joey said.
But saying that is just like, it's a little suspicious.
I love this man. Can I tell you something?
You'll be all right.
Duke, listen to me. When I go home to my wife, where she goes, well, who called in today? I go, Duke. And she goes, do you like Duke? I go, I love Duke. I go, if you ever see Duke, have you ever heard of baby fur seals? They're like these white little seals that people go up and they just club them. They're so stupid. Not stupid. They don't know
simple creatures.
They don't know any predators. Okay. Up in the Arctic. And sometimes I feel like when you're trying to do it with me, you're like me, you're clubbing a baby fur seal because I don't know what's going on.
Look out now.
Yeah, just kidding you, man.
I know it. I listened to Patel talking there. If nothing to be seen now, why? Didn't they vote on this thing last week? On the fly, last Friday.
Yeah.
Somebody voted on because Rand Paul and somebody else.
Josh Hawley.
Yeah, Josh Hawley.
The Senate, everybody else in the Senate voted against.
Right.
All the Republicans.
So
we're
if
right.
there's nothing to see, why you didn't let the vote come on through, folks?
Yep.
Huh?
No, it's driving me nuts. Really is.
They think people are so damn stupid, man. What's up with that?
Well, maybe they think we're stupid and or inept and not able to make it happen, and that's the biggest concern.
Well, and I'm now starting to worry that this thing was tied up and taken care of all the way back in the early 2000s.
I'm thinking that too.
By restricting how much they could actually investigate and then giving that sweetheart non-prosecution deal. I have a sense that this was all put to bed by intelligence a long time ago.
So why wouldn't they vote on? I mean, they claim they love women's rights and women not being raped and molested and all this stuff.
Because it's political.
Put it all on the table.
Because somebody's got something on somebody. Like when politicians start doing things that are just blatantly hypocritical, you got to start thinking about, okay, what are they facing in terms of necessities behind the scenes?
Yeah.
What sort of pressure points are they feeling? And that's where I start going, Like there's something, I wrote about this about a month ago. There's something unique about the Epstein case where the truth just doesn't get, and I mean this, not just the politicians. I think there are a lot of people demanding it and doing media tours about it. They don't really want the truth either. It's just a posturing thing. So there's something about this case that's just, there's a dark cloud over it that you can't see through.
I mean, they've been talking about Bill Clinton throughout this thing for several occasions, and he hadn't came out and said anything. But some people talking real loud though. Let me leave that alone. But because you know you don't have freedom of speech to say anything nowadays. That's too much. You know one thing, Joey. I never thought I'd see the day where the Republican Party tell people they can't say what the hell they want to say. Come on, man.
Yeah, but you know, I'm not that surprised about it, dude.
I mean, the Republican Party, 2025, telling people you can't say what the hell you want to say.
Well, but also, Duke, the Republican Party is still the party of when Pam Bondi came out and said, well, you can't do hate speech. Every major conservative voice said, shut up, Pam. You should be fired, Pam.
That, man.
Yeah, so no, I think what people are rightfully pissed off about is dancing on a man's grave. And also, I heard Matt Walsh making this point. I think it's a good distinction. The right will cancel you for saying things that are despicable and awful. And I think there are things I could say in this job. Well, I'll get fired. Like, I mean, there is a certain line. But the left will cancel you for saying things that are true.
And I'm willing to bet
like men aren't women.
I'm about to get off here because I got something to do. But I bet you any amount of money or 2 pieces at Church's Chicken that
that's
it somehow to Obama today or tomorrow. I bet you some people come out and say something bad about that.
Wait, say that again. Something bad happened to
if that was if Obama got shot like that, okay,
it'd be awful.
There would be some people on the right that will celebrate that, boy. You know that.
He's probably right.
And every we went over this last week. Every assassination attempt that's high profile, there are reports whether it was Jack Kennedy, JFK being killed, Reagan being shot. You can only imagine after Lincoln was killed how a lot of folks felt. And when there's division and rancor, that there are going to be folks that
there will always be
that their thoughts are always bloody.
But I think the difference, guys, here, and I know you got to go, but there's nothing more important than talking to us. Do you understand that, Duke? That's really, you got to remember that now. Listen, the difference, Duke, the difference I think here, as you and Joey kind of talked about that, would it be different with Obama or that? The problem is this: it's the continued social media rancor that just continues on. Right. It's one thing to have these political views and go act on them, but now you get this whole fifth column, if you will, coming out of the wall. So.
Yeah, and Duke, I was affected when Trump gets hit in the ear. I would be affected. That hypothetical, like, it's awful. I remember when Obama was president saying that, like, that would be the worst thing ever. On a personal human level, and then also for our society. Like, these things are just awful, and you would hope that it'd be more universal, but it's not just crazies who are brainwashed. It's some pretty high up people that are sometimes a little more eloquent in how they do it, but they're still essentially saying, well, you were kind of a bigoted, racist, transphobe, homophobe, yada, 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 George Wallace. And so, you know, when you say gross things and hateful things, stuff happens. Yeah. And it's like, really? Really?
But hey, I'm gonna say this, and I gotta go, Joey. I bet nobody said nothing negative when Nancy Pelosi's husband got hit in the head with a damn hammer. Ain't nobody said nothing negative about that, did they?
Well, because that
makes sense. That was just strange.
They are damn hypocrites.
That was just weird.
I'm gone. I got to go.
There he goes. There he goes. He's gone.
Yeah, on that note, when we come back, I might actually read something, because I keep hearing a lot of folks bring up the hypocrisy thing. So we'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. So far this year, over 2,600 homes have sold and closed in the River region. 55% of these homes sold in 60 days or less, and sellers are receiving close to 98% of listed price. Over the last year, average prices in the River region have increased over 10% from last year. We do have more inventory now to show buyers before they purchase. There are homes in all price ranges available for buyers interested in moving. moving. As a seller, it's a great time to sell through a realtor and gain access to many buyers, not just one or two. If you are a buyer, having more homes to pick from give you better choices before you buy. Our market is now more balanced between a buyer and seller market than we've seen since 2019. Get the facts, see the inventory, get a great local lender to help you, and an agent that's going to look after your interests. For all the facts, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Want that ride that is fun, affordable, and street legal? Check out ETG Outdoors in Montgomery. They have huge discounts on electric golf carts with many brand new units under 10 grand. New and used inventory, financing available, and they service what they sell. ETG Outdoors even provides lithium battery conversions and free delivery with purchase. Whether it's for the neighborhood, the farm, or just fun, ETG Outdoors, 7006 Vaughn Road, or online at etgoutdoors.com. Cruise smarter, drive electric. ETG Outdoors, your ride to freedom starts here.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Is foot pain holding you back? Visit the Good Feet store for a free personalized fitting and test walk.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians. But we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Get ready for some more warm, dry days and some pleasantly cool nights. Today, with plenty of sunshine, look for a high temperature in the lower 90s. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low temperature in the mid-60s. More sunshine, lower 90s tomorrow, low to mid-90s on Friday and Saturday. And over the weekend, the rain chances are not zero, but very small. I would say 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. And this is somewhat tooting my own horn, but we didn't meet until what, last year?
We met last year. Yeah, it was in the right when they reopened up Cloverdale, which would have been about a year and a half, maybe. Yeah.
So I believe I started writing for 1819 News in 22.
Right
after they started.
Right.
Been through a lot of changes, and but I'm still there, still writing a weekly column. And I don't know if you ever caught this one, Troy, but it's the very first one I ever wrote.
You've talked about it, but I don't think I've read it. So why don't we read it?
The title was "I'm mad as hell and don't want to play politics anymore."
I think I have, but it's worth rereading. Let's go for it.
Because it holds true, and I try to write these evergreen pieces at times, folks, and I still believe this to a large extent. In this age of narrative wars, The 1976 Sidney Lumet classic film, Network, is still worth the price of streaming. From memorable scenes and power-packed Oscar-winning performances that still play today, I'm mad as hell and don't want to take this anymore, to an incisive script with insights more poignant 45 years later, Network has matured into an icon. The mad prophet archetype is all the rage these days. Content creators, big and small, have discovered behaving just like Howard Beale will juice your ratings. So how was the original Howard Beale sold to the masses anyway? Enter Faye Dunaway as TV executive Diana. Quoting Diana, the character from the movie, Howard Beale said what every American feels, that he's tired of the bullshit. He's the BS. He's articulating the popular rage. I want that show, Frank. I can turn it into the biggest smash on TV. Frank says, what? It's a news show. It's not your department. Diana, I see Howard Beale as a latter-day prophet, a messianic figure inveighing against the hypocrisies of our times. While Americans still remain glued to their now even bigger and better TV screens at home, the network linking together the small screens we carry with us everywhere, every day, has become much more powerful than any given TV network. Asked in 1999 if the internet was, quote unquote, just a tool, David Bowie remarked, no, it's not. No, it's an alien life form. Is there life on Mars? Yes, it just landed here. It's going to crush our ideas of what mediums are all about.
Ziggy knows about that too.
2 decades more into this alien invasion, our traditional mediums have indeed been smashed dramatically. And though it may smack of Eastern mysticism, Howard Beale seems to have been reincarnated 1,000-fold. From cable news host to blue check activist to presidents to your disgruntled uncle at the family Christmas party, inveighing against the hypocrisies of our times not only makes people feel powerful as they rage and mock the insanity of our changing world, it also sells. I must admit I've played this mad prophet role. I didn't do it for money. Well, at least not much money.
Not much money.
I did it for something much worse, misplaced ideals. My hope was to inspire some degree of integrity in politicians, keep them accountable by appealing to their better angels. Sure. What a damned fool I was. Not only has this approach failed, I seem to have made the problem worse for getting my own house while trying to correct the nation's house. Why did I ever think calling out the speck in my brother's eye would make the world a better place? I wonder now if I should be playing the political game at all. Here's the problem. The wellspring of human hypocrisy and sin never dries up. We're all prone to the stuff, and politics only seems to encourage such vice. Hypocrisy might as well be a virtue for people whose practical goal is political power and distinction. After all, politics is fundamentally force and fraud. The force need not be violent, and the fraud need not be conscious, but they are elemental to political struggle. Just ask a politician about it the next time you have a private word with them, but only in private. Privately, they'll be able to speak freely. Privately, they're quite candid and charming. In fact, politicians are some of the most good-natured, trustworthy, and principled people I've ever met privately. And I must say, it's quite a sight to see politicians' private glee when they share their most creative fib or artful dodge, especially when they unironically believe their fraud serves some higher cause. Of course, in the public eye, the vast majority of these politicians will avoid any discussion of dabbling in the political dark arts. That's half the game. To publicly deny, deflect, and project what you're actually up to privately. It's a competitive game, no doubt, but also cooperative, like table tennis. You can see how this is dated with this this example about to give. Imagine Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell standing at opposite sides of a tiny net, but instead of slapping ping pong balls, they're smacking around scandals, slights, and all manner of accusations at one another. In this game of political table tennis, you don't have to prove yourself a saint to win the match. You need only convince enough people the other guy is a worse sinner. Prove he deserves a deeper circle of hell than you, and you're that much closer to heaven. But here's the catch, and how inveighing against the hypocrisy so often serves this corrupt game. The players must remember they're all still sinners dining together in hell. Political ping pong wouldn't have a ball to hit if the players didn't have a shared hypocrisy. So here's the rule. Hate the players, not the game, and never get too close to heaven. The system needs a steady stream of hypocrisy and sin to work. No surprise then. Forgot about this paragraph. No surprise then that saints usually end up dead when they run up against politics.
Absolutely.
Public displays of integrity in service of a higher calling rather than added accusations of hypocrisy in service of power throw the whole political ping pong game out of whack. So all the rulers of hell join together to fight back to save their hypocritical game. And the saints are martyred for their trouble, whether with a cup of hemlock, a swift blade of the executioner, or nails to a cross. At best, these saints' sacrifices allow them to be born again and cast a tall shadow over the history of man's corrupt nature. Speaking of tall shadows, let us not forget that last and rarest class of politicians, great men. Great men are great because they learn to share their private glee publicly with a wink and a smile at their own political hypocrisy. They don't upset the game like saints because they don't claim to be saints. They wear their sins strategically on their sleeve as a sign of humility to the people, all while using the same sins as in-group signaling to their fellow political players. Accordingly, great men either build political games from the ground up, reset the board, or at least set long-run trends of how the game is to be played. It is easy to admire such men for their skill and accomplishments, no doubt, but I suspect Lord Acton had it right when he wrote, great men are almost always bad men. Given this tour of the political game, let us now return back to the mad prophet pundits, who are thousandfold Howard Beals writ large in the digital age. What purpose does it serve for them to inveigh against the hypocrisies of our times, given that hypocrisy is the mother's milk of the political game? Do these madmen actually hold politicians accountable, or are they simply adding fuel to an everlasting fire? Though seemingly a worthwhile endeavor, calling out politicians for betraying principles they never held in the first place is twisting a rope of sand. Not only is this strategy ineffective, you also run the risk of being co-opted unwittingly into supporting a corrupt game and hurting yourself. Remember, Howard Beale was never really a messianic prophet, but a man having a mental breakdown, one that was wickedly used to boost the ratings and bottom line of institutions he loathed. Similarly, your noble crusade can easily become just another ping pong ball batted about by elites in the latest manufactured news hubbub of the month. Hypocrisy will either be a given politician's undoing or his golden ticket to winning his own fallen kingdom. Sooner or later, some other hypocrite will beat him at his own game. It's a never-ending cycle. Though it may seem tragic and self-defeating, the circulation of the elites will keep winning the day. Even if we all lose, I suppose somebody has to end up in first place. Yet have hope, my fellow Americans. As tragic as the world may seem, this is not a meaningless world. Far from it. There is much work for us to do. There are many other roles for us to play than that of the mad prophet, the political player, the saint, or the great man. Everyday people need not take part in this corrupt game. The salt of the earth need not lose its taste. After all, is the political game one most of us wanted to play in the first place? When did power struggles over this profane world become a replacement for the pursuit of the good, the true, and the beautiful? A replacement for the pursuit of our own individual happiness? For what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? My suggestion, and I say this looking in the mirror at the plank in my own eye, turn off the screens big and small enough to remember what's real and enduring. These screens are not windows to the world, but filters full of sound and fury meant to distract you from the world to support or damn certain narratives. Steer clear of the banal struggle of power on this side of Eden. Do not believe the lie that your happiness must be a function of these hypocrites' political games. The elites need you more than you need them. Instead of damning their lies, speak the truth you know. Instead of tearing down their halls of power, build a faith and a love over your own household's door. Instead of skewering their hypocrisy, embody the virtues and integrity you wish to see. And as a wise local pastor once told me, if you want to change the world for the better, invite your neighbor over for dinner, share a meal, and bear witness to their life. And if you must keep the TV screen on, may I suggest watching a movie together? I hear network's worth your time. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Joey. How are you?
All right, doing all right. What's going on there today at Cohen's? What's the score there today?
Oh, man. It's been a great day. Score is like 21-0. I got Michael Jackson's been running. Had to go to Troy. He's in Lynn Lakes. He's coming back to pick up some more stuff. And he's going to Sturbridge to deliver for the rest of the afternoon. So it's been a good day. He's been hustling. I miss seeing him, but it is good when he comes in. I get to spend a little time with him, and then he's gone with a truck full of stuff. So, it's been good.
And you still have some of those great deals over there right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, folks, if you're looking for, what's the old school phrase, a steal of a deal, seriously, they've got some great TVs on sale and a few other products, and you got to get by there before they sell out. You're not going to find something like this often. And, of course, as you just heard, service makes a difference, too. I've experienced it myself. Michael Jackson, that guy is a wizard when it comes to setting stuff up real quick and doing it the right way the first time. So, folks, y'all check them out. You can always learn more at thinkcohens.com or just stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. Open 9 to 6, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael and be like, hey, I heard you on that radio show with that Joey fella.
That's right. That's right. Y'all come see us. Bring us some pictures of whatever you're trying to upgrade and some questions, and we'll ask you some questions and help you make the right choice.
Appreciate you, Michael.
All right. Have a great day. Take care.
Thanks, sir. You were going to say something?
Just back on before we had that break there, just your writing style and your growth as a individual, as a news media person, as a Christian, as a citizen. These things are common. They develop through it, and I can tell. I've told you, idealism is for me. It is the source of, Robin says I'm overly optimistic. I believe we can always persevere. I think that you, Joey, have the unenviable task of dealing with the news cycle in a way that's almost, how can I say this? It takes a toll on your health.
Yes.
It does, physically and mentally.
Actually, I've got a clip, and we'll play it when we come back because I got to hit my top of the hour break. But I believe it was Tucker Carlson with Charlie Kirk.
Right.
I'll find it during the break.
Okay.
And they were talking about how everybody in the news business seemed to be going a little crazy, and the people that weren't were ones who had found faith.
That's right.
And something deeper than the politics itself. They're not even like filling in the faith in detail. So got to hit this top of the hour break. First, though, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. You see, with the Federal Reserve dropping interest rates by 25 basis points, 0.25%.
That's why Eddie's not here. He's closing now, man.
And Austin Marenko was saying this could mean very good things. At least it makes a little more sense financially. Sort of good things. With the mortgage interest rates. And that's why you got to check out Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams, Madeline Cannon can help you out. And it all starts with pre-approval if you're looking to buy a place. And they'll walk with you from pre-approval all the way to closing day. And of course, they can help you with a great refinance deal. Could be you're looking to get credit card debt off your back, save yourself money monthly, like a monthly overhead too much, chewing through like retirement funds, these sorts of things. It can help you with that. Maybe you're a veteran. You've never taken advantage of the VA home loan benefits. They specialize in that there at Alabama Home Mortgage, and they do the job quick. A turnaround's like 2 weeks.
Amazing. And maybe you got an arm and you're like, wow, we got to get this thing changed. So
I'll check them out today. You can always call Kim and Madeline direct at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
This is an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott. As was expected, the Federal Reserve has cut its key interest rate. The rate was cut by a quarter point. More importantly, the Fed projected it would do so twice more this year, as concern grows at the central bank about the health of the nation's labor market. The move is the Fed's first cut since December and lowered its short-term rate to about 4.1%. That's down from 4.3%. After the announcement was made, most U.S. stocks were ticking higher. That's after the Federal Reserve indicated that more of the cuts that Wall Street dearly loves are likely on the way. The Dow at one point was up more than 400 points. This has been an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher, host of The Mike Gallagher Show. I don't mess around when it comes to saving you money. Right now, rates have dropped to the lowest level in over a year and a half. That means if you bought your home or refinanced in the last 3 years, you could be saving hundreds of dollars every month. Lower your rate, lower your monthly payment, even kick that pesky PMI to the curb. And get this, you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments. But that's not all. Fellowship Home Loans just rolled out something incredible. Their very own HELOC and lines of credit. Approval in just 5 minutes. Money in your account in as little as 4 days. It's the easiest system you've ever used. You can do it yourself online. Whether you want to pay off bills, tackle a home project, cover education, or even a wedding, Fellowship Home Loans makes it simple to leverage the money that's already sitting in your house. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending guided by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 8193.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For tough, good-looking roofs, it's Tamco Shingles from Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For great folks and great prices, call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Get ready for some more warm, dry days and some pleasantly cool nights. Today, with plenty of sunshine, look for a high temperature in the lower 90s. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low temperature in the mid-60s. More sunshine, lower 90s tomorrow, low to mid-90s on Friday and Saturday. And over the weekend, the rain chances are not zero, but very small. I would say 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Ready to borrow smarter this season? Apply online in minutes at yourasecu.com. Call 334-270-9011 or visit your local branch today.
ASD Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASD.
Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
1819 News with Andrea Tice.
Good afternoon. I'm Carl Brady for Andrea Tice. The Alabama Education Association is standing behind teachers under fire for comments regarding the Charlie Kirk assassination. A written statement from AEA Executive Director Amy Marlowe affirms the group's commitment to supporting educators while reminding members of the importance of exercising discernment when using social media. The statement says that AEA will continue to provide resources, training, and support to ensure educators remain protected and respected as they carry out the vital mission of educating Alabama's children. More Alabama news after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office is investigating a Northport daycare after complaints of abuse and neglect were raised on social media. The Sheriff's Office confirmed an investigation has been launched into the Word Academy daycare after DHR officials made the request. AlDOT has announced that it will soon begin replacing old traffic signs on Interstate 22 from the Mississippi state line to the I-65 interchange in Birmingham. Ozark Safety Services was awarded the $1.7 million contract. Work should begin on September 22nd. For 1819 News, I'm Carl Brady.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Woodward, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Did you know that more Americans listen to radio than use Facebook each week? Did you know that 77% of listeners would try a brand or product endorsed by their favorite radio personality? Contact me, Cheryl Woodward, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Here at Adams Drugs, we let our customers do the talking. I'm here with Ronnie Taunton, who was a longtime customer of Adams Drugs, moved away for 3 years, and came back to town recently. Ronnie, what did you do for another pharmacy when you moved out of town?
When we moved to Fairhope, we were looking for a local. We did not want to go to a big box store. And we did find one, but the service was not up to par. Adams Drug really spoiled us.
What was it like to come back to Adams Drugs again?
It was very easy. We picked up the phone when we got back, came up to Prattville and called the branch there in Prattville, and they took that phone call and did the rest of it. We didn't have to do a thing. It was very simple. We're glad to be back with them. They're so efficient and customer service oriented.
Come in to any of our 12 Adams Drugs locations. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net to find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back.
I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico in the studio with me.
Happy to serve.
Well, there's Trump.
Yeah, big deal over there. Pomp and circumstance.
Second UK state dinner.
Yeah. They brought out the household light cavalry, which is reserved only for the highest occasions.
Ooh.
Usually like the Queen's the funeral. I mean, it's a very big deal. They rarely ride. So very neat.
Now, the title I gave this stream was "The Fight Over Charlie Kirk's Legacy Has Already Begun."
Okay.
Especially with Tucker Carlson,
yep,
Megyn Kelly, Candace Owen. I don't really listen to Candace, but
I don't know.
I've seen Dave Smith. There are several folks who they're now being criticized for sharing private correspondence. But from listening to them, and what I'm going to do is play a clip that Megyn Kelly put together.
Okay.
They all seem like their hand was forced because somebody else first shared a private correspondence to the world.
Oh. Okay.
So I think
the gates are open now, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And people are going back and forth. So this is Megyn Kelly. And last night she joined Tucker Carlson live on the show that the stream he threw out there. And she said that, like, since October 7th, she's been defending Israel's war, the right to defend themselves.
Absolutely.
She made a passing comment at, I think, a big conference where she's talking to Tucker on stage. She made a passing comment that they're talking about Epstein. And they're saying Epstein is intelligence. And we did this on this show. They were throwing out, who could it be? Could be the agency, could it be Mossad, could it be like, she said that moment she threw out, could it be Mossad? She started getting, not folks she knows personally, but started getting a lot of folks saying, you're an anti-Semite. And she's like, what? I've been defending y'all. I've been defending Israel's war and right to do this. And I say one thing, and so there is a, say, behind the scenes struggle going on right now for particularly the narrative over the current war there.
I can tell you this, that the Israeli government, or I should say the Defense Department and Bibi, have a very active information campaign that's always in motion. So, yeah.
So let's get through this. I'm going to not play the whole thing just straight through, but I'm going to jump around on it. But let's listen to that.
What's going on here with Candace, Bibi Netanyahu, and Bill Ackman, because it kind of leads up to something that happened between Charlie and me on this show about a month ago, August 6th. Okay, and the audience experienced this with me. So I'm just going to set up what's happening so everybody understands. Bibi Netanyahu went on Fox News on September 11th, the day after Charlie was shot, and commented on the loss of the man he said was his friend. And here's that in SOT 1 in part.
He was an extraordinary friend. He said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel.
Okay, so Candace, who's been critical of Israel in this conflict, did not appreciate that we had a foreign leader reading part of Charlie's letter, trying to characterize his stance on Israel without giving it its full measure, because it had changed a bit in recent months. And she is not wrong about that. She responded on her show, and Candace was very good friends with Charlie. I mean, she called herself a Mason of Turning Point, and she is. She is. She helped build that group when she was coming up and Charlie was coming up, and they're both very young. They were out there at many events together before anybody knew the name Turning Point or Charlie Kirk for that matter. And I was actually very moved by the video montage she showed of pictures of her and Charlie together and singing together and dancing, having a great time. You know, they're young in this business and figuring things out. So I believe Candace is sincere in her upset around Charlie's everything. I mean, obviously around Charlie's death, but around people trying to talk for him and sort of summarize his position on something as controversial as Israel. So here's what she said. Again, in part, you should go watch her show to hear the full measure. But here is what she said in response to Netanyahu on her show just the other day. SOT 2.
No, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing. You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents, that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened.
So she's basically suggesting he's leaving out an important piece of Charlie's evolution on Israel. She went on to talk about, and this is the first I had heard this news, a meeting that Charlie had at the home of Bill Ackman in the Hamptons on October 5th. August 5th, with a bunch of influencers, as it was described by Bill Ackman later, some of whom he said were pro-Israel and some of whom he said maybe not so much. And there was a meeting at Bill Ackman's Hamptons home. Charlie was there. So were some other so-called influencers. And Candace suggests that at that meeting, Bill Ackman pressured Charlie, he was very supportive of Israel. Do not get me wrong. I mean, I know, I spoke with Charlie directly about this, but he was starting to have the same doubts, questions about whether this could continue without Israel losing all of its support in the world, as I was. And he and I had a long talk about our frustration at being dubbed anti-Zionist or anti-Israel or anti-Semites even, just for those very mild criticisms. I mean, my God, it was fucked up, okay? It really was. And he was frustrated by that, and so was I. Now, Candace had a different characterization of that meeting than the one you're going to hear from Bill Ackman. And hers dovetails with this reporter, Max Blumenthal, who also reported on the meeting. Here is what she said, again, in part, in SOT 4, where she said they had this meeting, and she suggested that meeting with Bibi occurred while Charlie was at that meeting at Bill Ackman's house in the Hamptons.
A couple of weeks ago, before Charlie lost his life, Charlie was in the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called, and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment, a ton of money. Bibi would fund it, spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding, that Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel.
There's more in a second. But you see what's been laying out here. The day after Charlie Kirk, just to give it back, as Megyn Kelly's laying this out. 9/11, the day after Kirk is assassinated. Bibi goes on Fox News, and the quote that Bibi shares from that letter is something. There are clips of Charlie Kirk saying that himself. He recently at Cambridge and Oxford in these debates he had. He really did. You can see it in his face how he's talking about it. He said, "I love Israel because I could go walk the same steps as Christ."
Yes, he was a crusader like myself. And my question is this, and I don't want to interrupt your flow, but let's think about it from this perspective as we watch the rest of this clip. There is a very large portion of the MAGA, of the right, that is that are what I call paleos, that believe that Israel is evil and Jews are bad. But we are birthed from that crucible, and it is our duty to preserve, as a God-fearing Gentile, that land. So I think he's kind of caught up in the middle of the evangelicals and the revisionists.
Well, Charlie really was the bridge, and
he was.
But that's an interesting wrinkle there. And it's not just Candace saying it. You have Megyn Kelly backing up.
No,
Also, last night, Tucker Carlson corroborated this. Dave Smith has corroborated this,
Right.
saying Charlie was having these conversations as that bridge trying to keep this coalition together. And that's an interesting wrinkle, that if in that letter, Charlie declined to visit Israel.
Do we know that he did?
That's the question.
Who
do you believe?
Well, that was Charlie's letter to Bibi. Right. Okay. So what you're saying is somewhere in that letter it was I can't come to
That
Israel.
I love Israel and I
But
do
I can't.
support it, but
Because
I'm not coming.
Well, I don't know. We have to see that. I'd have to see it.
And so let's jump ahead here. What happens is, Charlie, that meeting that was described with Bill Ackman and all these donors, Ackman comes out and says, in like a long classic Bill Ackman like tweet or whatever.
What does he say?
And it's like 4,000 words, and he describes it like, nobody. I've never threatened anybody. I've never blackmailed anybody, and certainly not Charlie
That's a
Kirk.
lie. That's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Money. You use money. You blackmail.
Well, there's a clip, and Megan's going to go to it.
Hey, back up for a second. And Ackerman's stance was what on Israel specifically? In his rant or in his we don't get the whole story from that meeting they were all sitting at. There was pressure,
right?
But what was he saying? Versus, and she said he was very upset. He was very upset.
Tucker Carlson confirmed this. In particular, they were very upset that they were going to have Tucker Carlson at their America Fest because Tucker has been critical of Israel.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And they're very upset in particular about that.
Wow.
They were upset that they had Dave Smith on to debate this.
That makes me understand.
With
everything.
Josh Hammer.
Okay. Now I know why Tucker's coming.
And so here is Megyn Kelly sets this up, and I'm jumping ahead for the sake of time. The day after that meeting, and again, I'm presenting this because it's one of these intrigues out there. I don't know.
No, I got you. I understand.
The day after that alleged meeting, which a meeting did happen, that's been confirmed.
Right.
The characterization of that meeting is where we have the difference.
We don't know yet.
The day after that meeting, Charlie Kirk was on the Megyn Kelly show.
Oh.
Let's listen in. She cuts back to that time. This would have guessed been August 7th.
Okay.
And something's happening, though, with this whole debate that is really bothering me. And I wonder if you're feeling it too. My contention here is that some in the pro-Israel camp are so knee-jerk about calling you anti-Semitic or getting deeply offended if you say anything that doesn't align with their narrative, that it undermines their own cause. And I have to tell you, I find it very irritating.
I'm so glad you brought this up. And I would second that. Megan, I think I have a bulletproof resume showing my defense of Israel, both on campus, on social media, to great, let's just say mockery and scorn at times because I believe it, right? I believe in the scriptural land rights given to Israel. I believe in fulfillment of prophecy. And again, I'm not a theologian, but I'm a Christian. My life was changed in Israel. The spiritual energy is so amazing there. I want them to win. I've said that repeatedly.
Same.
And however, Megan, you're hitting on something very potent and important. Now, let me first say, I don't want to judge an entire group because there's been many people in the pro-Israel world that have been very sweet, very kind, very nuanced, very Charlie, you're with us. You don't have to agree all the time. However, and I will say this, the behavior by a lot both privately and publicly, are pushing people like you and me away. Not like we're going to be pro-Hamas, not like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. I am learning biblical Hebrew and writing a book on the Shabbat. I honor the Shabbat, literally the Jewish Sabbath. I visit Israel and fight for it.
It's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair.
you,
They were coming after you after a turning point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white. And you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it's offensive. It's offensive to those of us who have been out there defending them in many instances against critics on our own side. And now you have a couple of comments like, well, what about this? Well, has it gone on too long? Like, is it time to wrap it up? And the thing about Epstein is just so bizarre. I don't know who he was an agent for. It might have been Israel or an asset, or it might have been nobody. But we're allowed to speculate about that. It's there's some rule. You can't go there when it comes to Israel.
Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first, period. End of story. We are citizens of this nation. Personality types like you, myself, and Tucker, the more that you guys privately and publicly call our character into question, which is not isolated, right? Megan, it would be one thing if it was one text or two text. It is dozens of texts.
Yes.
Then we start to say, hold the boat here.
I thought that was very, very well said by Charlie, as usual. And I want to verify that he was feeling frustrated, and he was feeling pressured, and he was feeling like his character was being assassinated by people publicly and privately who are, I guess, consider themselves more pro-Israel than Charlie. And he refused to back off of his criticisms and said the truth, which is, in his case and in mine, the more you tell us we can't talk about something the way we want to talk about it, the more we're likely to do it.
Can I add just a sense of lightness to this thing? Tell me, and you can pull up the picture. Tell me that you could not cast Charlie Kirk as Morrissey from the Smiths.
That's fair.
No, he had the pompadour.
Fair.
He looks just like him with that pale skin. Loved him.
No, but knowing that
stuff.
Clip we just listened to was the day after this alleged meeting.
Very heavy. Yep. Ackerman said something that did not go over very well.
Yeah, and it also seemed like it was like a bunch coming to a head at once. And sorry, but then you go reverse back to Bibi Netanyahu. Yep. That's a weird thing for Bibi Netanyahu to do.
No, it's very. But if you know Bibi, it's right in line with what Bibi would do. He's not. Look, I love him. I want him to come here. Yeah.
Anyway,
but I don't think that Mossad assassinated him, and I don't think that Epstein was a Mossad plant.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there is a fight over this organization Charlie Kirk built. There is a fight over how is his legacy going to play out. Yep. And on one of the most hot button issues on the right, where Charlie was trying to be the reasonable bridge, and in particular, Israel has lost support with the youth.
Well, there's a lot of liberalism right now in there, and we've talked about that before.
But it's a lot of America First people too. And Kirk was feeling it from his grassroots.
No, of course he was.
So he's like, okay, I'm seeing the crazy anti-Semites. You're not part of the party.
Yeah.
But I'm also seeing people going, What's taking so long with this?
Agreed.
Like, and now you want to have speech codes. You want to abridge free speech in this country if somebody criticizes Israel.
So,
like, and this is where, like, it's a hot button issue.
Yeah.
And right after the guy's death, you're now seeing this fight.
You said something very powerful. You said he tried to be a bridge,
Yes.
the chasm, to bring it together. How'd that work out for Christ?
Yeah.
Kind of same situation.
Pretty, I don't know. Like, yeah, and I'm not accusing of the worst possible thing. I don't do that. I try to grant everybody grace, so to speak.
And I want to say something. I'm kind of careful with Candace Owens.
Yeah.
She's
said a lot of
perhaps the
bad
most
stuff.
blatant sensationalist of them all.
Yes.
And she doesn't know everything.
I'm on record after, like, the first time Candace Owens was on Joe Rogan in, like, 2016.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like her.
I don't like her. I think
because
she's
she
fake.
seemed like a lightweight to me.
I think she's a lightweight, and I think she's a little bit phony. And the other thing is this. You say, I don't know what Ben Shapiro said he wants to replace.
Yeah, I don't know.
First
about
of all,
that.
you need to be a
No.
Christian, okay?
Yeah, I don't know about
Sorry,
that.
but I'm not anti-Semite, so.
See, and that's the thing.
I'm not. I mean, I love Israel. Listen, I told you the story. I lost my clearance. My top secret clearance was suspended for almost 3 months because I took a polygraph test, and they asked about foreign influence, about whether you would ever take up arms against America. And I hesitated, and I said, well, as a Christian, if America attacked Israel, I would probably be forced to go join the IDF because I'm a Christian first, and that's my land. And I see it not just as a Jew's land. That's the land of Christendom. That's where the kingdom of Jerusalem was at. And that's our birthright, just as much as it is the Jews, as God-fearing Gentiles. So that's my thoughts. But guess what? If you don't agree with Ackerman exactly the way he wants, and he's got the money, then all of a sudden you're a bad person. So
right. It's going to be and this is why, like, on a deep personal, emotional level, human level, it's the tragedy of seeing that guy, his life taken from him.
Absolutely.
And then you start seeing the behind the scenes machinations,
the ugliness and all
of
that,
how politics is actually gets done, even on the team that you like.
Amen.
And what it seems to me is Charlie was the saint. He probably wasn't a perfect man, but he was the saint in the midst of all these vipers.
He was truly a man that had principle, and nobody else did. And here's the thing: how powerful is Ackerman? That Bibi and him. Bibi's like, okay, here, I'll go. There's there's a lot at stake here. Hey, let's don't let that take away though what Charlie did. And I think that's
I
important.
agree.
It's easy to do though.
But
it's
I
easy
wanted
to go down a rabbit hole.
I wanted to present it because I watched that Megyn Kelly in particular laid that out, and I'm like that.
Yeah,
because I've been watching Megyn for years. I've been watching Tucker for years. I don't
Megyn.
really trust Candace, but I trust those two.
I do.
Also, I don't always agree, but actually I agree more than I disagree. But I tend not to agree as hardcore with Dave Smith on the Israel thing or Judge Napolitano, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And, I listen to people because we're in a day and age where people are going to say whatever they need to say.
And your job makes it where you need to be objective.
Right.
You can't just be personal.
But I having listened to Dave Smith before most people knew his name. Dave says what he thinks. Like, there's no agenda. Nobody's behind the scenes. No, Dave is a comedian who started hitting it big because every time he's in a hotel room, he's got downtime and he started reading books. A lot of Jeff Dice, the guy's on my show most every week. He's reading stuff in the Mises Institute. He's shouting out Jeff Dice on the Joe Rogan show.
That's awesome.
And so it's like, I've seen these people for years, and I'm going to go with the folks that I've been listening to and I generally tend to trust. That said, I can't just take people's word for it. I'm just laying this out for everybody to hear because there is a ongoing fight behind the scenes.
Yes.
And you should be aware of that.
Yep. There's always something behind the curtain.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians. But we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. you're way more important to us. At Earnest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Earnest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Earnest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
Fox Monday, Fox Monday.
I think you mean
Jane's Day.
Yes, plural.
She's hosting a show where you guess a tune that'll make you think. And she's hosting a show where a celebrity is the weakest link.
You suck at this game.
All new Celebrity Name That Tune with Jane Krakowski and all new Celebrity Weakest Link with Jane Lynch.
Monday on Fox 20.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Are you thinking about selling your home? Here's a question for you. Would you trust your biggest investment to someone who's only doing real estate as a side gig? They've got another job, so how focused are they on getting you the best results? I'm Hannah Grantham, and for us at Forest Meadows Homes and Land, real estate is our full-time and only job.
That's right. You don't have a part-time banker, so why would you have a part-time realtor?
So if you're thinking of selling, think Hannah Grantham and Eddie Bader, and let's make sure your home gets the attention it deserves.
We're full-time agents getting full-time results. Give us a call today, 334-322-0662.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store. Summer is winding down and fall is fast approaching. Kids head back to school, routines become more structured, and we dive back into our busy schedules. Those busy schedules can be tough on our feet, but they don't have to be. At the Good Feet Store, our arch supports are designed to make any season comfortable by fitting into your favorite seasonal shoes. Good Feet arch supports provide the stability your feet need, supporting all four arches and helping to alleviate pain in your feet, knees, hips, and back. Whether you're getting back to work, running errands, or navigating to the kids' sports activities, Good Feet arch supports have got you covered. Stop in your local Good Feet store today or make an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store is in Montgomery, across from the shops at East Chase. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today or just stop by. I'm Jonathan Cotton, and we look forward to seeing you soon at the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Danny with High Caliber Gun and Pawn. November, we'll be celebrating 10 years of doing business in the River Region, and Blue Water Broadcasting has been an integral part of that 10 years. High Caliber Gun and Pawn, we say we are a step above the rest, and Blue Water Broadcasting definitely is that step.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River Region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. This is Rich Thomas. The nights continue to be pleasantly cool, but the days are very warm and still we're dry. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low temperature in the middle 60s. Tomorrow, look for plenty of sunshine. We'll be in the low 90s tomorrow, low to mid 90s on Friday and Saturday. And over the weekend, the rain chances are not 0, but we'll say 20% or less. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us in that last segment. Because honestly, the intrigue can be a bit confusing and people can jump to all sorts of their own conclusions. It's a problem.
And they do.
Yeah, no, there's a guy on X. Let me see if I can find this real quick, just off the top of my head.
Okay.
He goes by the name Jarvis on X.
Jarvis.
Yeah. At Jarvis Best.
Okay.
Writer, painter, poet, gentleman of culture.
Ooh, a true Renaissance man.
And he put this out, today?
Okay.
He put this out today at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Really not sure who to trust here. The deranged hobo podcasters who are clearly just making things up, or the established, educated, credentialed mainstream media with official editorial standards and practices, and entire fact-checking departments who are also making things up. And really, if you're just a random person, kind of maybe you're a little intrigued by this stuff. I'm like, I don't know. But it's just crazy. And I have at a certain point, I have to take comfort in the fact of like, I just don't know. So everybody wants to come to you and be like, oh, I really know the truth. And maybe if you actually are working behind the scenes stuff, maybe you do know it.
I doubt it.
But if you're just like covering this, like looking what's on X and looking what's on Fox News and MSNBC and read the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, do you think you're really getting the full story?
And that's the problem, though. People believe what they see when it comes across from Huffington Post and crap like that.
Let's go to Paul. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hello, Charlie.
What's up?
I ask you this. After they had their party with Christ, and then they asked the crowd on certain days, they was asked who they would have to be released, and the crowd cried, Barabbas, give us Barabbas.
Yep.
Crucify the one they called the Christ. Now, each one of us that takes up Christ to be our own personal Lord and Savior, take up the cross. We have to follow that same example. After Christ was resurrected and then came back and made himself known to his disciples, which became apostles, he told them very plainly, they slapped me in the face, they pulled my hair, they spit on me, and they crucified me. They'll do the same to you. Now, just from what I have seen and listened to of Charlie Kirk, I wouldn't have everyday follower per se, but he was as much of a modern day prophet as any man I've seen or heard in quite some time.
Yes, sir.
Each of the apostles, as they was called out by the Pharisees and Sadducees in the temples and before their judges and their high priests, told them exactly who you crucified, who he was, and we can expect no less. We take on our Lord as being our personal Lord and Savior. It can happen to any of us any day. And it's not going to get no better between now and the time of his return. That's the sad part about it.
I hear what you're putting down. Oh, no, I hear what you're putting down. And I recently wrote about the crowd demanding Barabbas. I was thinking about it in the context of the Epstein situation. And I said it yesterday, as rightfully the blame game is going on. And some people definitely deserve blame. Don't get me wrong. But as all the finger pointing is going on and right versus left and to pick whatever divide you want, every generation would have crucified Christ and demanded Barabbas.
Absolutely.
Well, and you got to remember that the reasoning was behind that is the Father had blinded their eyes and blinded their spirits so they wouldn't recognize the Christ because he had to be the sacrificial lamb. So therefore, you're right. Every generation, if Christ was in that generation, they would have crucified him because that was what he came for, to be the last blood offering.
And he would have done it for, if it was just you, Paul, or me, he would have done it just for us. And that's what's powerful about the salvation of the blood of the Lamb.
Absolutely. And there's so many people who do not see the blood of the Lamb being on the doors or panel, not panel,
the altar, the frame of the door above it. Yeah.
Well, and here for me, Paul, is where I'm at. And this, I think, the most complicated part for people believe, people who don't believe, is like, you can say whatever you want. Like, you can say, I believe.
Sure.
Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior.
Yep.
The question is, do you really?
Your tongue can confess. Your knee has to bow.
Is that actually your heart?
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that should be the very serious question for everybody. Maybe you don't want it to haunt you every moment of the day, but the idea should be more something like, are you embodying the word?
But many of our historical leaders in the church have had questions of themselves at times. From history, it's replete. But so I think your faith is challenged constantly. The mofo down below, Paul, I call the devil the mofo down below. He's busy everywhere on this earth.
Well, there again, you have to remember in the Old Testament, whenever he was in heaven before the throne, where the sons and saints of God gather, and God the Father turned to him and says, where have you been? He says, I've been roaming to and fro through the earth, seeking who I may devour, which in a roundabout way, he's the bulldog that's released on us to make us call on the Lord's name. Okay? Now, once we realize that we have dominion over that bulldog,
Amen.
Jesus said very plainly before he was ascended, the same power and authority I give you.
Amen. And hey, Paul, what about what is it? Maybe it's in Corinthians. I can't remember. Remember when they're trying to cast out one of the demons and Jesus is doing something and they go run to him and they say, Jesus, we can't cast this one out. And he goes, do you remember what he says to them when he gets up there and casts it out? He goes, how long must I suffer with you all? He says that to his disciples. How long must I suffer? I've told you, I've given you this power.
To his closest people.
I know.
How much, how long? And
Because
a lot of times he said things 3 times.
I know.
Even though they knew he was Lord, they believed he was Lord.
They lacked the faith.
They accepted him. There again.
Lacked the faith, didn't they, to cast that demon out when he gave it to him? Yep.
And there again, he also said, again, this kind takes fasting and prayer.
Absolutely.
So where are we at with that?
Yeah,
so
we need 40 days of prayer. You're right, brother. We need to fast and give some honor to God. You're right.
Yes, and there's a lot of people who still refuse to accept the fact that there are demons that are getting into people's bodies spiritually.
It's amazing.
And we have the authority to cast them out.
We know they're there.
How much of that do you see going on?
Everywhere.
I can't wait till the time that the scriptures fulfilled when the sons of God walk the earth.
Me too, brother. And I look forward to holding them, coming up to you and saying, well done, brother.
Amen. Later, guys.
You're awesome, Paul.
Love it, Paul.
Oh, man, he's awesome.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you fellas out. If you just don't feel yourself and you think, wow, it's just a better part of getting older.
Yeah.
You're just getting
older. You're just getting older.
It shouldn't be that way.
Shouldn't be at all.
Like if you are really not feeling yourself, tired, sluggish,
mental fog, all that
loss of muscle mass, big old tire,
sleeping poorly, all
fat
that,
around your middle. Yeah. So how about this? Instead of just assuming it's part of aging, why don't you look into folks that can actually help you out there at Montgomery Men's Health? There's no guesswork, no gimmicks, just real science and effective treatments. They're not going to just throw a bunch of generic fixes at you like these online companies do. They do personalized treatment plans. The urologists and providers at Montgomery Men's Health will tailor solutions specifically to your body and goals. And, well, it's affordable and accessible. Consultation, including blood work, is just $99. You can see if you have low T.
That's great.
And they have results before you leave, and they have treatments that make you feel better the very same day. So, gentlemen, act now. You only got one life. Procrastination's only going to make this worse. Call them today. 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or visit MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com today. I'm so tired, by the way, getting all these random spam messages from insurance people. Did you want to add dental and vision with your health insurance price? Go away, demon! Not today, Satan!
Get thee behind me, Satan! Get thee behind
Not today!
That's funny. That could be demonic.
Anyway, I'm running out of time here, but let's jump to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Oh, this is the thief that was on the left that told the murder. You're talking to, because the Lord said to that thief, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, today you will feast with me in paradise." We have to remember that Stephen, when the priests told Stephen, young Stephen, if you recant, and say no, we will not stone you to death. He says, I can't do that. And they stoned him to death. This young man, Mr. Kirk, he was telling it, and people that were hearing it could not deny what he was saying to being the truth. They knew it in their heart that he's telling the truth. They felt convicted in their heart, and they took it out on him in anger. It was a personal thing. It wasn't all so much politics as it was, you feel a conviction in your heart that you know that that man is telling you the truth and you can't deal with it. So you strike out in anger. That's what we got to remember, is we have to control our emotions. And then the Lord's words is true, and deal with it. Don't be angry like this young man who struck out. That was a personal killing. It wasn't, I don't think so. I think it was personal, where he felt convicted that he was hearing the truth and he couldn't deal with it.
Demons preyed on his weak mind and weak spirit. Yes.
Well, I appreciate the call, Colana.
Thank you,
I gotta run through these real quick. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this? Hello.
Hey, this is Tim, Joey. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yep. Good copy.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Joey. Hey, just real quick. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Isaiah predicted what's going on in our world. Listen to this. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And let me tell you, brother, if that's not our society and our culture today, it is flipped upside down. So thanks for letting me share that.
And before you go, Tim, I don't know if you've
Yes, sir.
seen that moment where John MacArthur is with Ben Shapiro a few years back, and MacArthur makes the case of Isaiah, laying out clearer than most anybody, you know. And I was about literally tonight to order MacArthur's book on Isaiah. So,
John MacArthur's awesome. I'm telling you, I hate that he's gone, but boy, did he make an impact in this world. Guys, y'all do realize it seems like God is taking out all these godly leaders. Have y'all noticed that?
Absolutely.
And maybe his second coming is closer than we could ever think. Maybe he's saying, I'm calling your boys home, and you left. Y'all do what you got to do. And but boy, even so, come Lord Jesus. But yeah, we live in an exciting time, but we live in a very scary time too.
Yes, sir.
But we know how the story ends, Tim, and that's what's important.
Amen, brother. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim.
Bye.
Well, we got to hit this last break and hopefully get Ray Bowles on the other side.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Attention business owners. Did you know that about 90% of employees and customers are unhappy when they walk into a dirty building? Let Janny King, the king of clean, keep your business pristine. Janny King's local franchise owners can handle your cleaning needs with reliable, hands-on cleaning solutions that deliver more than just a clean space. Janny King comes with regional support, which ensures consistency and quality, allowing you to focus on all the other needs of your business. Go to JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones. Dr. Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Man, how y'all doing today?
Good, Ray. How are you?
All right.
It's been a good radio today. You know, I've been reading through the Old Testament since January, and I'm dyslexic, and it's not the easiest thing to do as a dyslexic person.
Right.
And you hit the book of Chronicles, and it's all the names. And all you can do is pray to the Lord and say, you're going to have to use the Holy Ghost to, I need some help here.
Well, I'll admit that not to do deep study, but just have it in the background as I do stuff. I've now they've got on Audible, the King James read magnificently, and already to Genesis 16 just from this morning's listening. And man, they're begatting and begatting and there's begatting all over the place. There's so much begatting. And I'm like,
and then lo and behold, someone slew one.
Then God took Enoch. Where'd he take him?
Lo and behold, then someone slew him.
Anyway, older books are fascinating.
Yeah, and hopefully we heaven, Lord will say, oh, that's what you meant. My feeble mind couldn't figure that out.
Ray, I want to know, how was attendance at church? How was the attendance at church?
No, yeah, exactly.
No, how was it?
But
how did you invite it?
Okay,
sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, we did have one couple show up.
Okay,
they were
good.
on the other side of church, and I couldn't get to them. But I was wearing shorts, right? T-shirts. I'm wearing a Heritage Baptist. So we're Baptists. You don't show up in shorts and T-shirts.
There's something wrong with you.
and I was trying to get Dad to do it, and he's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm too cold.
I told Robin that you were very genuine, and it really touched me. And I thought, you know what? This is happening everywhere. So thank you for doing that. I think it was very, very noble of you.
But so we did have several people show up in shorts and T-shirts.
Okay.
We had a great service. It was our 39th anniversary. Dad and Mom actually started that church with about 4 of the couples.
Wow. That's incredible.
And I've never left. I've gone about leaving every now and then and going to another church, but I don't know. It's just home.
If you're getting spiritually fed there, it sounds like you are. So,
man, we got a good pastor. Pastor Ben is just
awesome,
phenomenal. He really is. He's got a gift. You know me, I don't have that gift. I have a gift for selling. I don't have a gift for preaching.
And you are still selling carpet?
I am. Oh, let me tell you this one last thing about church. I did try to talk Pastor Parks when he was there to let me do a service on a Wednesday night, and I was going to do the pros and cons of sin, and he said no.
You were a politician once. You can't talk about that. City council member.
That's what I was telling you about. I had a whole list of pros and cons of sin. He wouldn't let me do it.
Oh, well.
But if y'all need a floor, call us, 285-8117. Y'all have a great day.
Appreciate your God bless. Again, that's 285-8117. And be sure to tell them there, Prattville Carpet, that you heard Ray on the radio, that Joey and Troy, those fellas on the radio. So I think we learned a good bit today, I suppose.
Yep.
King Charles III speaks at Trump State dinner.
So
happening live.
What's interesting with that is that the government of England, which this is just a ceremonial head of the government, they're using the king to communicate with Trump because they realize that he has more in common with the king than their labor leftist crap.
Yes, I think there's
Starner.
There is something to that.
What would Marge Thatcher say today? What would Thatcher say about England? Where's my Navy? That's the first thing she'd say.
Yeah, she would. I think she would.
Where's my Navy? Royal Navy.
Anyway, we got to get out of here. Happy hour, Greg and Pamela. They should be next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy,